lot of people don't want to buzz me for a lot of the damage I've done.
Yeah?
I just don't want to get in trouble for it again.
You've gotten in trouble in the past. What's happened?
I got in jail a couple times.
But you still do it?
Hell yeah.
You're now tuning into All in the Bag.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of All in the Bag podcast. I'm your host, Myan, and today's episode, I'm bringing Twigs.
Hello.
What's up, dude?
Not much.
All right, so yeah, man. Well, thanks for coming on to the show. I really appreciate you coming out here and hanging out with me. Got a few questions, but more than anything, I always like starting off at the beginning, learning about history, kind of what got you into graffiti. What was the atmosphere in your area where you grew up? So just to find out more about you.
Yeah. Okay, so I got interested in graffiti obviously through seeing it.
Okay.
But most importantly through a magazine called The Source magazine.
The Source, okay.
Yeah, so I was super into hip hop as a kid.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a hip hop magazine, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so I traveled a lot as a kid with my mom. She moved like all over the country, and my mom was really young when she had me, so I had young parents that were like still almost impressionable. They were really into counterculture stuff.
Yeah.
And so I had a lot of exposure to young counterculture stuff. So
yeah. So you got introduced to hip hop at a really young age.
Yeah, not through my parents. My parents were into like punk rock music,
sick.
New wave music, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so when I started to get older and become a teenager, in typical form, I tried to rebel, so I went the other way.
Right,
I went into rap music.
Right.
And so I was super into rap music, and I was reading this magazine, The Source, and in the back of the magazine for a few years, I think, Chino BYI, he curated a thing called Graffiti.
Sick.
And that was like the first thing that really like put me on to graffiti, where I was like, what is this?
Right.
This looks so cool.
Yeah.
How do they do this?
Right.
What are they using to do this? And so that's what originally sparked my interest. And so I started, funny enough, I started trying to redraw the graffiti in the magazine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
So I started to redraw the stuff that was in the magazine. Obviously, I couldn't do it. So then I started like just drawing random letters and making them into words that weren't words. Which was really funny.
Okay. Yeah.
So I got super into it, and then I ended up figuring out a little bit more about it, picked a name, which will go unsaid, because that's not the name I have today, and I didn't write it for very long.
Okay.
But I was starting to draw a lot and, write with shit with Sharpies and stuff like this.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I was maybe like drawing naked women on the desk at school, stuff like that.
Fire. Did you ever do the little stissy S?
No, I never did. I couldn't figure it out.
Right.
So, no, I was just like drawing boobs and stuff on the desk,
Yeah, titties on the desk is pretty classic.
And so then there was two specific people in my life that outside of this thing grabbing my attention and making me want to do graffiti, where I saw like somebody else who was also interested in this. There was this young Latina girl who had moved to my small town where I lived in Washington State, and she was fucking Cortez, Dickies, all the shit.
Fire.
She was super clean.
Yeah.
She was real small. She was like 4'11".
Nice.
And I sat next to her in class, and she had like the most beautiful handwriting.
Okay.
And she would do these that I still would consider good to this day, like baby girl and angel bubble letters, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, she's good at this thing. Like, this is connected to this thing that
Right.
I like. So I would like get drawings from her and look at them and stuff like that.
Sick.
And then like my other childhood best friend, he also started to get interested in graffiti, and he knew some older kids that were into like heavy metal and shit like this.
Yeah.
And they had a younger friend of theirs that was in their band and he wrote other one.
Okay.
And I ended up having an art class with him.
This isn't the other that you paint all over.
Yeah, it is.
Is it
Still
really?
is. Yeah. We've been friends for
holy
years.
shit.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, actually.
So, I found out that he did graffiti,
Yeah.
and we had these big tables in art class that like were maybe like 6 feet across, and you sat across from a bunch of people or whatever, and he sat directly across from me in this class, and I didn't know him, but I heard about him doing graffiti, so I was like, yo, I heard you do graffiti, like, what's up with that? And he pulled
put
out,
me on, homie.
he pulled out a sketchbook out of his fucking
Yeah.
little backpack, and the entire thing, like front to back, 3 full color Prismacolor fucking filled in pieces.
Yeah.
Like he was like light years ahead.
Oh, wow.
He hadn't been painting a ton,
Yeah.
but he's like a very naturally talented artist, somebody who can pretty much do anything they're set their mind to
Yeah.
artistically. And so he picked it up like so quick.
Damn.
And yeah, that blew my mind. And then that was like really all I needed.
Yeah. You're like, all right, this is it.
And then we had a little squad, we had a little
Sick.
little squad of teenage goons, so
Nice.
and that was really cool. So that's like how I initially got into it.
Okay.
And then, I think
What year do you think this was?
I mean, I started getting into it like the late 98, 99.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
But by no means was doing anything.
Right.
Probably wasn't until 2000
Okay.
that I like really painted anything of any significance.
Gotcha.
And by no means was good. So let's not get carried away.
Yeah, that's
Nobody
the Y2K.
nobody would remember it. It looked like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was, that's probably when I was like creeping around.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah,
Sick.
Yeah.
You said this was in Washington?
Yeah, so I'm from Olympia, Washington,
Okay.
which is the capital city of Washington. It's a very small, super liberal town. It kind of has interesting dynamics in the town because like on the southern side is like one of the most well-known liberal arts colleges called Evergreen State University.
Okay.
And then on the other side of town, about 15 minutes up the highway, is Fort Lewis, which is the military base.
Oh, interesting.
So, it's...
that is very like two entirely different spectrums, right? Because you have like the art people,
Yep.
and then like the straight up law.
Yep. And then on, it's like I-5 corridor, right? So it's the stop in between Portland, Tacoma, Seattle, right?
Yeah.
And it's college town, so a lot of, free thinking,
Sure.
hippie counterculture people end up coming there and living there. So it's most well known for music. K Records, a lot of people talk about Nirvana starting there,
Right.
et cetera, et cetera. So it had a huge musical impact in the scene, even though it's such a small town.
Okay.
So again, that was an area where like a lot of my peers that were trying to do interesting creative stuff
Yeah.
gravitated more towards music.
Mm.
And I was like,
And you said Other was in a band at the time.
he was in a band, a
Yeah,
heavy
okay,
metal
yeah,
band.
yeah. Oh, okay.
And I wasn't musically inclined.
You just wanted to fuck shit up graffiti wise.
Yeah, I mean, listen. If I want to be honest with myself, I wanted to be a rapper, but I'm a white dude. I'm just gonna say it. I didn't really think it was in the cards, man.
Hey man, you
So-
you get Vanilla Ice, Eminem.
No, that was gonna be a stretch. So, I was like, well, what else can I do?
Right,
So
right.
I always wanted to.
The four-legged stools of hip hop, right?
Yeah, I always wanted to go the other way.
So your b-boy, your up rock wasn't so good.
No,
right, that's
no, no. No. Plus, small town scene, man.
Yeah.
I grew up with those kids. They're still there.
Yeah. Oh shit.
The
Yeah.
jokes about the like high school rapper guy who's still in your small hometown.
Dude, I love those memes. There's that one guy, I don't even know his name, but he's just like he got really popular during the COVID. Like he did like the White Claw meme where he's like, yeah, about to crack open a claw.
Yeah.
There's like there's no laws with the claw
Yeah,
or
yeah.
some shit. That dude did like a whole skit about like that rapper kid that like was hella sick, and
Yep.
just it was, I don't know, man. Shit like that cracks me up. It was pretty funny.
I mean, good on them. They're still doing creative stuff. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't gonna work for me, so
Yeah, I feel
I
it.
decided to do something different.
Okay. So you're in 2000. You're hanging out with other. You're starting to learn how to do graffiti.
Yep.
When does this like start to slowly develop into something legitimate?
Legitimate. If it's legitimate,
Well,
maybe
I mean, you know, it doesn't necessarily be like, all right,
Maybe
now my
8 years
pieces.
ago.
But I'm just saying, like, it doesn't necessarily be like, all right, my pieces are structured. Now I'm hitting burners. But like, you know, just like, all right, you have a plan of attack. You're sketching all the time, hanging out with the homies, plotting on spots. I'm sure the freight scene out there is probably way nicer than it is out here.
yeah, I would say that it started almost immediately.
Oh, okay, sick.
Because, you know, I can't say that this is pre-internet graffiti by any means, because there was, you know, art crimes and stuff like that, and you could figure stuff out.
MySpace
But yeah, MySpace.
or LiveJournal. You
Live
remember
stream.
that?
Yeah. But I got really into like figuring out how to use the tools
Okay.
and create the tools.
Yeah.
and, You know.
Yeah. Were you like
Finding the
racking?
caps.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
I was just thinking about, and I think I've talked about this in previous podcasts, but like, you know, just I remember as a kid, right? Like you'd go like stone granite cleaner, you know, and we'd keep them in these like jars of acetone so we
Yeah.
could use them like 3-4 times
Yeah.
before we had to go rack some more caps.
Yeah. We found the like one of the big, you know, ones for us was finding the Elmer spray
Oh yeah.
adhesive had
yeah.
the you know,
Yeah.
the orange dot caps, and yeah, that shit like that really
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
you know, and it was a cool thing because we were like, you know,
I mean, it's exciting, right? It becomes a part of the lifestyle, the culture, right? It's not like, you know, now, and I mean, you're wearing literally a sweater from 14th Street to Playa, and shout out to fucking 14th Street. I love that dude.
Yep.
Adam's a homie. But, you know, you go into a shop and now you just, let me get this cap, let me get that cap, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, versus, you know, you're like, all right, I got a plot, you know, so I got to go to
Yeah.
the local hardware store and take this cap, you know, I got to do this, I got to do that,
Yeah.
you know? So you have that whole, you know, fucking tool case.
yeah, it was like a whole nother aspect to it where it was like a discovery period, you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that was really cool. And it was also cool because it was like, you know, a lot of the other people I knew who weren't interested in graffiti were just like, you know, fucking taking knife hits and smoking cigarettes and just being super burnt out, you know?
Yeah.
And like I was doing that too, but
Right.
we were doing it and also like going outdoors and being creative and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah,
that. So
yeah.
it was really a positive, you know. I don't think at the time I thought it was a positive. I thought it was like rebellious and
Yeah.
badass, but
Yeah,
in
fuck
reality
yeah.
it was kind of a positive because
Yeah.
I had like a hobby, you know, and something that I was interested in.
Yeah, and it's also something that can kind of take you away from necessarily going down like a, you know, a bad path.
Yeah, and I was. So
Yeah.
it was like
Word.
kind of a
Yeah.
twofold thing. Like you know, there's that like cliche statement that people make, this like graffiti saved my life thing. And there's many things that impacted my life in a positive way and put me
Sure.
on the right direction. I wouldn't attribute any of that kind of stuff to graffiti necessarily, but having an interest in something and being so passionate about it definitely helped keep me out of trouble,
Yeah.
you know, even though I was still getting in trouble, like worse trouble.
Yeah.
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm very thankful for that. In the effort not to ramble. So yeah, I really got interested in, you know, finding the supplies, finding the spots. We were, you know, it was a small town, of course, so it was not like a big city.
Yeah, you can't be super hot.
You could there because it was still like a pretty liberal
I
art
get it.
city.
Yeah.
But you know, it's the kind of town that's still small enough that like if you're walking downtown and you're a teenager and it's like past 1 a.m., they're pulling you over and asking you where you're going.
Yeah.
You know, so a little bit harder to get over.
Sure.
But we were super kind of blessed to have these really amazing paint spots. There's 3 specifically that really stick out to me that are in Olympia that are just like beautiful in the woods. Like, you're a tunnel guy. I've listened to some of the podcasts. You talk a lot about tunnels.
Oh, yeah.
If you ever are in Olympia watching them, they're called the double tunnels. They're amazing.
Okay.
They're these big, huge train tunnels. They're used like twice a day, maybe.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know if they're still used.
Yeah.
But I mean, man, it's an amazing place to just chill and hang out. It, like I said, it's just both sides are
Just nature.
Yeah. You know?
Yeah. I totally hear you. And yeah, exactly. Like in other podcasts, I'm always talking about tunnels. I mean, like, I just posted a meme the other day. It was, I forget what his name is, but he's like an ex-basketball player. He's a commentator. And it's like when you take the first sip of beer on a hot day in a tunnel before you go over some toy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean that shit, dude, to the heart. Like, you know, I mean, it's the Bay Area. You know, it's not like other places where it gets like 115 or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, you know, for us, it's pretty hot and shit. And dude, on a hot day, you know, I won't wear boots if I know it's clean water. If I, you know, if I'm on the nicer part of the Bay Area and I know it's like fresh Sierra water coming from the mountains, I'm like, I'm gonna wear some shitty shoes. Yeah, I can feel that cold water running through my feet. Got the noise in the background. Got the beer with the homies. Yep. You know, just like that whole scene is such a fucking vibe. And I always try to take it in and just like have a second to be like, yeah, this is tight. Yeah,
places like that are really cool to paint.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. A lot of those types of places have been the best places I've painted in various states and cities. So
yeah,
you know, they're always very memorable because it's not 100%. Just like the back of a shitty building.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is also fun to paint. You know,
I mean, for sure. I mean, I'm down to paint whatever. You know, but it, you know, sometimes it's nice to be in that environment versus like I'm just smelling like tenderloin piss. Yeah, the entire time. So you know. But okay, so you're doing all that, and then how long were you in Washington before you came down to the Bay Area?
Well, can I step back a little bit, tell you a little bit more?
Please.
Okay, so when shit really started going for us is, Other got a car.
Oh yeah, that changes.
And so we started traveling outside of the small town. Right?
Okay.
So the two big pivotal things in graffiti for us at that time was we went to this small town in south of and found the trains.
Oh, that's it right there.
And we found like the most amazing spot that was like a
no one's
rock
bothering
quarry
you.
that on Sundays it's closed.
Yeah.
The parking's easy. You walk in there, there's 2 whole lines of trains. This is so jealous. You know, 2000, 2001, so you don't have to go over anyone.
Clean trains all day.
Of course, we're painting, you know, 4 foot by 2 foot tall little mini pieces because that's what everyone was doing.
Yeah, everyone. You could have 6 people on a fucking panel every day of the week.
Those are hilarious.
And it's like, it is actually, you know, because I've been lucky, you know, I like we were kind of talking earlier, you know, I got into graffiti like 03-ish. But I wasn't really starting to pay attention to freights till way later, you know, because freights is just not really a Bay Area thing, you know, unless you have all the like, you know, and everyone in the town right now is going to fucking hate me, but let's keep it real. There's a lot of fucking town bombers that go and fucking destroy freights and make the spots hot, you know, and then freights obviously are a lot hotter here, but, you know, I've been lucky to travel a few places where there are like some cutty little freight yards, and I'll go sit there and I'll find those random, you know, like a myth that exactly is like 4 feet wide. And I'm just like, look at this tiny little myth. Like, this is insane, you know, fucking, it's just like, you know, just seeing those pieces and like, how the fuck? Like, you know, I've seen some old kings from way back in the day and they're just like so tiny. And I'm just like, dude, no one paints like that anymore.
Well, I mean, this is something people don't really say too much anymore, but at the time they were talking about the numbers race, right?
Yeah.
So I think those small pieces can be kind of attributed to that because
conserve paint.
People were trying to paint like 300 trains.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
A year. So they go to their yard and
rock 6 panels and they count it with like the same amount of paint versus rocking one giant panel where you have to go over someone. So I totally understand.
Yeah, I mean, bigger train pieces look a lot more dynamic and cool, but
for sure
at the time, and some people did do them.
Yeah.
Like I think one of the a car that I saw pretty early on that was like pretty mind blowing to me was Tybo and Natural.
Oh yeah.
They painted this end to end.
R.I.P.
And they were big pieces, and man, they were.
Yeah.
That was like, you know, coming from a small town.
Yeah.
Which does have a little graffiti history, and I can talk about it if you want, but it was so much different looking.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, for sure. I can't imagine.
and so that was like kind of a mind-blowing thing. And then another time we saw, who's now a crewmate of mine, is Totem.
Oh, okay.
And we were blown away by it because like we saw it up close walking down the line.
Dude, Totem.
And up close it was like blurry, right?
Yeah.
Fuzzy.
Yeah.
No sharp lines.
Right.
And then you stepped back.
Yep.
You went back like 20 feet and it was just this crisp 3D thing. And we were like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah. Totem, I think, is arguably probably one of the best graffiti writers in the world. I mean, it just hands down. We were just talking about, I just got back from Japan 2 weeks ago, and I painted this spot again in Kawasaki. And the first time I went there, I saw Totem at that. So this was the first, because Totem's in what, Georgia, Atlanta?
He's in Atlanta, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So I mean, I've never seen a Totem out here, and I've never been to Atlanta. So my first Totem piece was in Kawasaki, Japan, that I seen in person. I flicked it, and I was just like so blown away. I was like, "Whoa, dude! I finally get to see it." I've been paying attention to fucking Totem for years. Yep. And I went back recently to the same spot, because spots in Japan are extremely limited. And so I got to see it again. I'm like, dude, it's so sick. It's still running. It's like fucking 10 years later running. But seeing his technique is like really impressive. Yeah,
he's a real master with spray paint. And the thing is like, it's all tricks, and technique that he knows that a lot of people haven't picked up on. Yeah. And he can do it with any paint. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I see posts about quick color. That dude could do something nasty with quick color that you or I, it would look like trash.
People hate on quick color so hard. And I'm like, you just don't know how to paint with it. You don't know the right cap to get a decent line. Because I've been able to pull fucking straight up outlines and 3Ds with quick color. But I've also used it for a fill and cut back with like a Rusto to get sharper shit, But people also don't trip about, because it's such shitty opacity. Yeah. You can use that as a shadow can. Yeah. And you could just, far away with a fucking New York and just like hit up a couple spots, and it'll, exactly how you say, you pull away 20 feet and you're like, damn, that's a sick ass cascading shadow. Yeah. But you get in close and you're like, look at this fucking oversprayed quick color. This looks like shit. But it's like, it doesn't matter anything in the flick. I've had so many homies that like are beating themselves up over like fucking, oh man, look at the overspray, look at these drips, and I'm like, why did you give a flying fuck about any of that? You're not gonna, it disappears in the flick. I'll take a picture, I'll show it to them, they're like, damn, it looks hella good in the flick. And I'm like, yeah, bro, don't worry about that shit, And so I totally know what you're talking about when it comes to those techniques.
You should try and get a job with quick color, man.
Yo, quick hot color fucking sponsor me for sure. Like, I have been pushing quick color for a decade.
That's your marketing campaign.
Dude.
Overspray drips. You won't see it in the flick.
Legit, dude. I mean, fucking A, like either that or Rusto, I mean, Rusto already sponsored me once. Look, you can see right over there, I got the 100-year-old commemorative can.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, they sent that to me because I went viral on fucking TikTok, and I rescued a dog from a sewer in Oakland.
Crazy.
And I named him Rusty, or Rust. I named him Rusto, but we call him Rusty. And so I kept him for a couple months. Now he lives at my lady's mom's house. But like, cool. I posted about it. It went viral, and then Rust-Oleum reached out to me, and they're like, "We think it's great that you named him Rusto." And they sent me like that can. They sent me fucking like 300 Rust-Oleum pens. Fucking, I got Scotty socks.
Oh, that's cool.
Those are like plaid Scotty socks, like a whole tote bag, like. Dude, they sent me so much shit. I was like, what the fuck?
That's sick.
But I needed the quick color edition.
I needed the quick color,
Dude, I sold when I came out with that quick color shirt. It's my old clothing brand, Cursed brand. It's no longer around. But like when I came out with a quick color shirt, dude, I for sure have sold at least 300 shirts of those. Really? Yeah. I mean, even at the time, I was selling them out to Leave Your Mark.
Oh, nice.
And I had shirts out there, dude. I made so much bread off of that shirt. Shout out to Quick Color for making me, some bread.
Yeah, that's sick. So we found the trains, right? Like I said, we go in there. There's 2 lines of freights. Yeah. And we spend all day. Yeah. And then,
I'm so jealous.
And then behind, like on the side of one of the lines was this rock quarry. So there'd be these big piles of rocks. And at the end of it, we'd go climb up to the top.
Get good flicks of
smoke
everything.
Smoke a little weed, and just sit there and look at our car and trip out. And other at the time, his dad had a digital camera.
Oh,
but this was
like 10, like 5 megapixels.
Yeah.
Like a point and shoot, like cool pics.
But at the time, man,
Oh, it was everything.
it was so sick. And we would
Yeah.
go back to his house.
Oh, and upload it.
No, print it. And then we would sit and stare at him. I still have some of those photos.
Do
They
you
look
really?
like shit.
Oh, that's so awesome, man. I'm actually really big into disposable cameras, and actually, there's also oh god, let me think about this real quick. I think it's freeprints.com.
Mm-hmm.
You download the app for free, and you get like up to 85 prints a month, and you just pay for the shipping.
Yeah.
And so it's like $10 or whatever, and they'll ship you 85 pictures of what you upload. And so I print hard copies all the time, and I have like this big master hard copy of like old graffiti.
Yeah, this is one of my graffiti regrets. Is I was never good at documenting anything.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I saw so much cool shit.
Oh, I can't
painted so
imagine.
much mediocre shit that I
Yeah,
never
yeah.
got a photo of.
Yeah.
And that's been really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still bad at it. So like Instagram and Flickr and all that stuff was really cool for me because I got to see stuff that I painted.
Oh, yeah,
And somebody
you'd
else
see it
would take
later
a
on.
photo.
Yeah.
It was sick.
Yeah.
I've just always been.
Yeah.
I have friends that like they'll stop painting and they'll like take the action shots and they have all these cool photos of the years of like all of our friends and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I did none of that
Yeah.
because I'm like so like locked into whatever I'm doing that
Sure.
I was never good at it. Like I wish I had the foresight to have taken
Yeah.
disposable camera photos.
Yeah, that definitely would be cool, to see some of those things.
Yeah.
It's nice to kind of look back and be like how much you've progressed and shit throughout the years.
Yeah. But I have like,
I mean, those memories are everything for you.
yeah,
right?
they're locked in. I mean, I remember if I think about seeing the Tybo and Natural, like I know the lighting in my head of,
that's so
what
sick.
the day looked like and
Yeah.
how the train was, and stuff like that. So I have the memories, which is great, but I wish I had physical copies of them to show people,
Yeah, I have actually a Tybo hard copy that was printed in like '96
Sick.
that my homie gave me, and I was like, oh, what the fuck, like it's
Yeah.
a cherished fucking piece.
Yeah, yeah. No, he was really good. He was doing cool stuff early on.
Yeah.
And Natural too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Um,
Yeah, dude, that sounds like heaven.
yeah. So then, like I said, we had the tunnels, then we found the trains,
Yeah.
and then we started, like I said, Other got a car, so we started going up to Tacoma, which was like the closest biggest
Bigger
city.
city,
And if you
yeah.
don't know much about Washington, Tacoma's kind of like, it's farther away from Seattle than Oakland is to San Francisco, but it's probably more like Oakland.
Oh, okay.
It's more of like an industrial port city.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I don't really know much about up north. It's funny. I should. I got homies that live up there, but I should look into going up there once in a while.
The thing that people know about Tacoma is the Tacoma aroma, right? Because there's these paper mills there. I don't know if it's ammonia or it's some sort of chemical that they use in the paper mills.
Interesting.
It basically smells like sulfur.
Oh, okay.
So it smells like those like gag fart
Yeah.
packs that people used to throw out
Everywhere?
in school. Yeah.
That's cool.
So like a whole city.
The whole city smells like that?
I think it's changed now, but like
Yeah.
as a kid, I remember driving
Yeah.
and everybody called it like the aroma of Tacoma. It just kind of stunk like sulfur.
Yeah. You can still smell that now?
Yeah.
Like if you think about it, can you smell that scent?
No,
Oh,
thankfully.
okay.
But so anyways, we started driving up to Tacoma, and Tacoma had this spot called the Underworld, which was this
Great name.
great name. And it was maybe, I don't know. I don't know if my memory's right on this, but it was at least like a half a mile of
Of wall?
wall on both sides.
Holy shit.
And Tacoma was obviously a bigger city,
Yeah.
so it had a lot more influence. Like Olympia was just kind of a stop through city. Like I said, it was a lot of like
Yeah.
hipster people.
Right.
So the graffiti style that was in Olympia was very like referenced towards like punk rockerish style. Like
Yeah.
straight letter, bubbles,
Right. Right.
kind of blocky stuff.
Tacoma's
Which-
rocking the funk.
That's what Tacoma. They had the dudes doing 3D pieces. They had like people that were traveling from California come through. I remember
Yeah.
like seeing this piece early on that was that dude Clowns from Tits Crew.
Yeah.
Man, he painted this piece and it had this fucking crazy character.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we were just like, our brain exploded.
Yeah.
So
I can't imagine how like impacting that is to see it in person or when you're used to a certain amount of graffiti.
Yeah.
And then you see that, like, whoa, that's what people are doing, right? And
Yep.
like, it's also like, I mean, like, yeah, there is internet and this and that, but it's so much more like impacting when it is in person.
Yeah. And, you know, the internet at that time, like I said, there was art crimes, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know. Maybe 12 ounce was a thing, but I didn't know about it.
Right.
I don't know when 12 ounce came around, but so I don't know how much time you ever spent on art crimes, but like it wasn't constantly updated. It was like updated like monthly.
Oh, okay.
I think they had, and I could be totally wrong about this, but I think they had contributors in local areas that would kind of
Gotcha. And it's like if they didn't
yeah.
send it, then there's nothing to update.
So it wasn't like now where you just scroll and scroll and scroll and it's endless amounts of content. It was
Right.
like you were like, what's the new update? And if you lived in Seattle, you would be like, I wonder if my thing made it on the page, you
Yeah.
know? So we were going on the internet, but there wasn't that much content to look
Sure,
at. You know what I
sure.
mean?
The dial-up days.
Dial-up days, exactly.
1,000 hours through AOL.
Yep. Some real slow loading, mediocre graffiti pieces.
You know what's funny is actually I want to make this a more consistent question that I asked. But do you remember the first song you downloaded and how long it took?
No.
I forget if I said this in a podcast, but for me it was Papa Roach's Last Resort,
Okay.
and it took 24 hours, and it was on Napster.
I don't know, man. I definitely downloaded.
Yeah. I mean, because it's funny because you talk to kids that are like, I mean, like Gen Z doesn't get it because obviously you have Spotify, you had
Yep.
SoundCloud and Pandora
Yep.
even before that. But it's like you talk to some kids like I'm 36, but you talk to like the 30-year-olds and they're like, oh yeah, I remember Bear Share and Kazaa, and I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck out of here, bro. It's like rock Napster, like an old IBM ThinkPad, you
Yeah.
know. Like, that shit's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't remember what song it would have been. It definitely would have been like a rap song for sure.
okay, word.
And it definitely would have taken hours.
Yeah.
That was something that like, also I would buy a lot of CDs.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's
That was the
yeah.
thing. So I don't remember loading a lot, like
I still
downloading
have
a lot.
my giant binder with like 60 CDs that
Mine-
like I've burned off.
Mine got fucking stolen, man.
Oh man,
It was a terrible day in my teenage life.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
rough.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
They should have been scared of whoever's car they broke into because it was only No Limit CDs, man.
No Limit Soldiers, yo. Hey, real talk though. Like, so when I never, like me and my dad don't really talk, but like, there was a
Yeah.
couple years where he was kind of trying to reach out to be like, hey, we don't have a relationship, and
Yeah.
so he's a part of a band.
Okay.
It's a Latino band, and so they do like merengue, cumbia, salsa, shit like that. And so he would burn his own music and like just give it
Okay.
away for free for promotion. So I'd be like, yo, can I use that? And so I'd go to the local library and get like 400
Sick.
Degrees Juvenile, right?
Yeah.
And then I'd like throw that on there and burn like 15
Yeah.
CDs a night, and then the next day go sell them at school.
Yeah.
And dude, I was slang. Yeah, I made so much money off of Juvenile.
Yeah.
Shout out to Juvenile.
Juvenile. Yeah. I remember doing that more than downloading songs is burning CDs.
Yeah. That's the shit, dude. On Nero.
And then you would have the little paper stickers that you
Oh,
could put
shut
on
the
there and
fuck up.
design
with the
CD.
little stamp or whatever,
Yeah.
you'd like line it up perfectly
Yeah.
and push it. I know exactly
And then
what you're
I'd go
talking
to
about.
town on drawing
You're
on 'em.
hilarious, dude. You're doing fucking burners.
Yeah.
No Limit Soldier burners.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I hope there's a, because you look at like the analytics and shit, and it's a lot of young people are into podcasts. So of course, obviously, there's a lot of young people listening to this, but there's just this small percentage, like I think it's like about 25% where it's like kind of the higher, older range that are
Yeah.
listening to this. And like those guys are going to listen to this and be like, oh, I know exactly what they're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, you little shits don't know what it's like. No, it's good.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. All right, so you're rocking freights in like absolute heaven. You're going to Tacoma to a fucking half-mile wall. You're getting him, fucking blown away by Clown.
Let's also not get carried away with the word heaven because it's Washington State. So the last year I lived there, it rained 317 days of
Oh
the
my
year.
fucking god.
So yeah, we had this idyllic spot. But
yeah.
it was
You needed like a 10 by 10 like easy up.
pretty much, dude. The worst feeling, like those tunnels were great, right? Because you could still paint them. But,
Oh yeah.
like with the freights, like the absolute worst feeling was it's a clear day, you're driving there, and halfway there, because it was a little bit of a drive, it starts raining,
Oh man.
right?
And you're like, it's a wash.
Yeah.
Time to go home.
And you know how like weather changes. I mean,
Sure.
I'm dressed for summer because I was in Oakland, and I came out here, and I was like,
the fog's rolling in, and you're like,
fucking
oh my
cold.
god,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I feel you.
so
Yeah, microclimates actually. I just started renting out my motorcycle on a rider share.
Okay.
And this kid from Detroit came and he rented my bike and he was like, yo, I was not prepared for the fucking microclimates. He like went from here to Santa Cruz and hit like 3 different fucking microclimates on the way over.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, that shit's no joke, dude. Cause
Yeah.
yeah, but it happens. But yeah, that sucks. But the tunnels, those are train tunnels, so you don't actually worrying about like creek tunnels and stuff like that like we have here.
No.
So you could actually paint those on a rainy day.
We weren't even thinking about something like that.
Fuck, yeah, because it's, I remember as a kid, if it rains, no drains.
Yeah.
Like,
We would bring towels with us.
Okay,
Yeah.
because you talking about like the sweat of the wall.
No. What to paint trains?
Oh,
Because the thing is about Washington is like it doesn't like it. It rains a lot harder here.
okay,
It's very like consistently misty rain.
oh,
So you could still go paint if you wipe it down.
gotcha.
So
Okay,
yeah.
that's pretty chill.
But
That's funny, the idea of like bringing in a towel.
Oh, you figure it out. You
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
paint, so you do it. So
You got like beach towels, and they're like wondering why you have beach towels on you.
and I'm sure so much of that stuff we painted that we wiped down the train or whatever just fell off the train.
Yeah, I probably didn't
know?
adhere super well.
No.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, so going to Tacoma, going to the tunnels in town, going to the trains, I'm hooked.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. And at this point, you'd already been riding for a few years.
I'd say like taking it seriously, probably 2.
Okay.
But those
Man.
initial years were
Yeah.
very long feeling
Yeah.
because I'm a teenager.
Right. You're like, I've been doing this forever.
I've been doing this forever,
Yeah.
right? And then we started to get exposure to graffiti magazines. There was a Tower Records in Seattle that we went
Can
to.
control.
We had a can control, but more so what we had, interestingly enough, was Urban Autograph. Have you ever
Urban
heard of this?
Autograph. That sounds familiar. It might be like a tapped in, fucked up part of my brain that like I've closed off from exposure.
It was for sure a California magazine.
Yeah.
And it had like a lot of like what I would now say are people probably who were painting in the Central Valley
Oh, okay.
or like Sacramento or something.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a lot of like ENDS, the Emer, and those
yeah,
guys.
yeah. Actually, just recently picked up their END project.
So,
Yeah. Still haven't seen it yet, but yeah, I gotta make time for it.
yeah. And then there was like, I think it was the Urban Autograph. There was a feature on Lord's Crew.
Okay.
That was like, that was a cool thing to see because we didn't really know like what like
So-
a graffiti community was. We didn't have one.
Yeah. So you were just painting.
We did an Olympia, but they were like much older than us at that time.
Gotcha. What was like the top crews in your area that you could kind of think of?
Most notably, it's like 40C and LFC. So
Okay.
40C is, I don't know exactly, but seems, intertwined a bit with A2M,
Oh, okay.
right? So it was like this guy Menace
Menace.
and Buzz and Rhine.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, they were all kind of like rocker guys and
Yeah.
tattoo artists and stuff.
Sure.
So they had this
They're
very
doing more aggressive style.
Nah, not super aggressive. More like this stamp type stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, more like font kind of.
Gotcha.
And then Rain KYT was in Olympia, and he was so KYT dudes would come through, DTC dudes.
Yeah.
Those 40C guys obviously were like I said, they were tattoo artists, and they were like traditional flash, like
Gotcha.
kind of hip
Yeah.
style of tattoos. So there was like an influx of like other tattoo artists that were also graffiti writers that would like come through town. I don't know if they were tattooing at the place or not. I'm totally talking out of my ass there, but
Yeah.
they would come through and they would paint the
I mean,
the
I'm sure
tunnels.
there's like a, because the tattoo,
Yeah.
similar to graffiti, there's those huge networks where everyone kind of vibes off of each other.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then there was, and this is like where I really got like turned on to style, was there was this dude Slope from Flow Crew from Boston.
Slope.
He
lives out here now, right?
He does.
Okay, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
You've
about.
probably seen one at like Merritt Wall.
Oh, yeah. I've taken like 15 of his Merit Wall.
He's
Yeah.
sick.
Oh,
okay?
dude, his connection game is gnarly.
Yeah, so he came
Yeah.
and lived in my small town randomly.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I assume he was going to college.
Okay.
And yeah, so like I saw these pieces that were
Yeah.
like much more what I wanted to try and do.
Gotcha. Wait, isn't he? Is he YME or no?
No.
I'm trying to think what.
No.
What cruise is he?
Flow Crew? That's the one I know.
I could have sworn I took a flick or something like that.
Oh,
He's like
Circle T, Circle T,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. I was gonna say I know he's a part of.
Yeah,
it.
I think he hits up T Crew. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right.
And I know him. Like he used to live in my neighborhood. And stuff
Yeah,
like that.
okay.
So we ended up like
Connecting and shit like
becoming
that.
friends. Yeah.
Did you connect out there? Or was it out here?
Out here?
Oh, okay.
Interestingly enough.
That's funny as fuck.
Yeah.
But you saw his pieces back in the day.
Yes.
Wow.
And his tags. He has really, really good tags.
Yeah.
And that was like, I was like, this is good.
Damn.
Like, this is good graffiti. And then I'm trying to think. I don't want to leave anyone out here. Who else there would have been?
Did you like so I always send people the questions ahead of time just so they can have an idea of like what to think about. Did you like answer the questions for yourself just to have like notes?
No, I just made like bullet
Word.
point type of stuff. What else? Who else was going? I don't know. Screw 'em.
Nah.
But
Yeah, that's fair.
we had a little graffiti. Oh, this is what I was talking about. We didn't have much exposure to like a graffiti scene.
Right.
The scene that we did have exposure to was older. Mm-hmm. They weren't really trying to mess with us.
Yeah.
We were painting a little bit different than them.
Gotcha.
Okay.
A little bit of that gatekeeping culture.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think like I don't know. I used to be kind of salty about it, to be honest with you, because I was like, because they would get pissed at us and stuff. And it's like, well, why aren't you putting us on?
Yeah.
Like, why aren't you showing us the ropes?
Yeah. You can't do that. Like, why?
Whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel
different time period. So
right. Absolutely.
And maybe if I would have gotten schooled by one of those dudes, I'd still be living in a small town, and not have traveled to learn more about graffiti,
Yeah.
So maybe it was a great thing.
Yeah, hey, that's true, man. There's definitely those little. Sometimes it could be significant. Sometimes it's very insignificant. Will change the course of a path.
Yep.
And I totally agree with that.
Yep. So then there was kind of a pivotal thing early on where, we met some guys that were like a few years older than us that had been doing graffiti. There was this one guy specifically who wrote slower. He's not from the East Coast. He's not that slower. He's fairly unknown probably at this point. But he was kind of an interesting guy at the time to us because he was so like on the fringes. Like he was a twin, and him and his twin sister had train hopped like the entire USA by the time they were like 17.
Dude, train hopping is so intriguing to me.
Yeah. And it's really cool.
Yeah.
I never did it. I mean, I got on a car and rode it like a mile, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I never.
You're like, I'm out here. I'm on these lines. I'm a hobo.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, exactly. I did that.
Yeah, that's fire.
It'll be in the book. So he was like a really weird guy who knew a lot about a lot of stuff at that point.
Dude, I've met a few train hoppers, and like, that's I when you say on the fringes, I know what you're talking about, because you got to be a different kind of person to like rock that kind of shit.
Yeah, I mean, this is late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah,
and he was like a heroin junkie already.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And like, he how all the young kids today talk about their scams and how they do all this and all that.
Yeah.
At this time, he was the guy who was like, "This is the scam. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. I can make $500 a day."
Wow.
You know, stuff I didn't want to do.
Yeah.
You know, stand on the freeway off ramp with my dog. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Wash people's windows.
Yeah.
But you know, he was doing what he had to do. So, anyways, he had a crew, SBS. We didn't have a formalized graffiti crew.
That's funny. I was going to ask you about SBS.
So he put us in that crew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And SBS stands for Saved by Satan.
Saved by Satan.
Yeah, Saved by Satan. Because we were into like heavy metal and stuff, you know?
I thought you were all hip hop though.
I was, but I was also
But you kind of grew around that.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Olympia. Olympia has so much rock music. And like I said, my parents were super young. My uncle was in a famous heavy metal band.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I got to ask which one.
A band called Metal Church. It's a thrash metal band.
Metal Church.
From the 80s.
I got to look this up.
Yeah, they toured with Metallica, Alice Cooper, all over the place. Yeah. Metallica stayed at my grandma picked them up from the airport and they stayed at her house. Yeah.
That's so fire.
No. They were a well-known band for sure.
Really?
Yeah, if you talk like a metalhead person, they know who it is.
Yeah. This is more heavy metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're kind of described as like thrash metal.
Well, I mean thrash has changed so much into back when it was to what it is now, right? Yeah. So I mean, you know, my exposure to really metal is like, you know, death metal. That's kind of the shit that I, so it's like anything outside of that, I have very limited knowledge because same thing. I grew up around like, so like all my cousins are like gangsters. So we're listening to like, you know, Dr. Dre and like Snoop Dogg and shit. But like, you know, it's like I rebelled from that. So I wanted to listen to like Slipknot and Mudvayne, you know, and shit like that. And these fools were listening to fucking Tito B and like, you know, so shit like that.
You probably had one that listened to thrash metal though.
Probably. I mean, I'm going to look it up and then I'll probably either be like, okay, these are tight or, oh, that song, you know, like.
Yeah, I mean, they were popular at a time. And like a lot of bands, they split up and went their separate ways. So the original members are not the same. Yeah. But, you know, love you, Uncle Craig. Not my favorite band. But they're good.
Okay. Yeah. If you're into that kind of shit, they're good for what it is.
Yeah.
All right. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways,
SBS.
So SBS. So what are we talking about?
You're saying that homie was a little on the fringes. He put you down to SBS.
So he put us down in SBS.
Saved by Satan.
Put us on to like traveling.
Yeah.
All this kind of stuff, like kind of opened up our world a little bit in regards to like graffiti culture and what was out there, stuff like that. So he kind of like opened our eyes up to traveling, getting out there, that you could like go all over the country and do this. Yeah. And we hadn't really thought outside of our little bubble, you know? But he was also like somebody that we were wary of for sure. Because like,
I just think it's hilarious that you're in a crew called Saved by Satan from some like weird ass dude.
Yeah.
And you're just kind of like, I don't know about this dude, but you're still repping his crew.
Exactly.
That's fire.
I mean, it's my childhood crew. They're all my friends, you know, SBS isn't something that is like.
Do you still talk to this guy?
No. Okay. I have like a finger on the pulse of what he's doing.
Yeah.
And not much has changed.
It's changed. Yeah. Okay. Word.
Actually, like, you know, good on him for pulling through and still being around, you know. With the way that drugs are today, I mean.
Yeah, seriously.
You know, he always, you know, he always had a head on his shoulders in a lot of way. I don't want to discredit him too much. I think heroin is like a crazy thing to have in your life. But I think he's still struggling a little bit.
Okay.
Yep. So kind of open up our eyes to traveling, being put in a crew. Trying to think of what the next.
What was the first place you traveled to?
To do graffiti?
Well, I mean, just so you're saying that you're like thinking about going outside of the box and shit. Were you you said that you traveled a lot because your mom moved a lot?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, was this within Washington or just in general around the country?
No, I've lived in Alaska, Hawaii,
Oh, shit.
Washington, Oregon, California, Missouri,
Okay.
Michigan.
Now, was this after the fact or was
Arizona.
this all happening while you're into graffiti?
No. This is before.
Oh, okay.
While I was into graffiti,
You were in Washington for the most part.
I was in Washington until I moved here. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, the first place, right? It's still in Washington, but it was Seattle. I moved
Right.
to Seattle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I just went full on nutso because I was like,
Yeah.
you can write on everything here, you know? And,
Yeah.
And I was rolling with some people that were like really getting up and doing stuff like that. So
Now, before you're piecing on freights and like tunnels and you're kind of hitting like cut of your yards and shit, when you're in Seattle, you're like, okay, I'm bombing. And, like,
yeah, I'm gonna bomb. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. That's what's up.
And like, look, I didn't go as hard as some people have, but did a lot of stuff.
Yeah. You're dipping your toe in.
Yeah. I was painting with this guy, BC, who's BTM dude.
Okay.
And Jay Freeze, shout out Jay Freeze. And just running around Whore 24, lived in Seattle. We were doing lots of street bombing and stuff. And I met a lot of the people in Seattle. I stayed there about a year,
Okay.
and then I came to California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What year was this when you came to California?
End of 2003.
Okay. Damn.
Yep.
I was a freshman.
Yeah. I moved to Oakland.
Yeah. Damn. You've been here ever since?
There were 2 years I wasn't here in between.
Okay.
And that was due to some court issues up in Seattle and family drama stuff.
Word. Yeah. I mean, you got to handle what you got to handle.
Yeah.
But then came right back.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Word. Okay. So Oakland, at this point, you're painting. You've already been painting for what, 3-4 years now?
Yeah.
All right. What was your impression of like Oakland when you came in like 03 and you're like, all right, I'm going to be doing graffiti in California now. Now I'm in the big leagues.
Well,
Not to say that Seattle's little leagues by any means, because there's some really cool scene out there.
yeah.
For sure. I pay attention to a lot of Seattle graffiti, but
And it was much different then. Seattle right now is crushed.
oh man, yeah, it's really cool seeing like a lot of
Yeah.
the shit out there.
Yep. Yeah.
I got to make my way out there.
It's
but-
really crushed. The last time I was up there visiting family, there were like people doing rollers on the freeway and shit. you know? Where it's like,
yeah.
but like in the, the breakdown lane. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah. Well, not graffiti related, but it's a funny part of the Oakland transition
Okay.
is I had really no idea
I love side
where I
stories like
was
these.
moving.
Okay.
And like in my mind,
You had like no aspect of like what Oakland was.
no. The
Okay.
Bay Area, nothing.
Okay, fire.
Because this is like,
Yeah.
pre-internet, and at this time I already live on my own. I don't have a computer.
Okay.
So I'm not looking up. I'm just going somewhere
Yeah,
with
yeah.
$600.
So wait, how did you even think of like, okay, Oakland, California?
My childhood best friend moved here to live in a house with our other friend who was a ceramic artist that was in CCA.
Okay.
And he had rented a house and there were extra rooms and they were like $400 a month or something.
Fuck.
So I was like, I could do that. You know,
I got at least 1 month. I'll figure out.
And I want to go live with my friends, because they're all leaving. And so, like I said, I had no idea where I was moving. In my mind, I did have an idea,
Okay.
but I was very wrong.
Okay.
I thought it was like beaches, like
Yeah. Like I'm going to California.
women in bikinis. I thought I was going to like,
Yeah.
Santa Monica or something.
For sure. Just, big titty chicks and cars with the top down. And...
Exactly. So I show up in Oakland, right, at like 3 p.m. Summer day, in my car, all my shit's in my car, and I pull off onto San Pablo Avenue, and I was like, this is not Santa Monica.
No.
This is not beaches. This is not anything.
Oh, that's fire.
Yeah. So, but I also was like, easily adaptable. So I was like,
you're like, fuck it, I'm here. Like, we're gonna
fuck it, I'm
figure it
here.
out. Yeah, yeah.
What am I gonna do? I have $600. I just drove here.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm kind of stuck.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Hey, but you got a whip. You know.
Yeah, a whip to live in if I had to.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I moved to Oakland. 3 days, I got a job at the Subway sandwich at Jack London Square.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So my first paid job as an artist. That's my joke. So sandwich artist. And then
I'm gonna put a
yeah, there you go. So then I was, living down here.
Okay.
And my buddy that I live with knew this guy who wrote Oscar.
Okay.
And Oscar was an A4Y
Okay.
crew. And he was rolling with this dude, Haiku.
Okay.
And then I'm going to space out a little bit on some of this stuff.
It's all right.
You talked about Belly. He was in a crew with Belly.
Okay.
These kinds of guys. And so I immediately link up with Oscar. Oscar knows like everyone.
Gotcha.
In the
He's
town.
just one of those guys.
Yeah, he was like in the early 2000s. He was like a big facilitator of people meeting each other.
Okay.
And in many of the friendships that I have in graffiti, they
are because of him.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So I met a lot of people through him. Would roll around and paint with him.
Sick.
My buddy that I lived with painted. He originally wrote the word Main, Main, and then as the heavy metal fan that he he changed his name to Do420. Shout out Do420.
Do420.
Yeah. You know the Ronnie James Dio?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's Dio and then 420. And he would paint like pentagrams and shit in the O and stuff like that. It's pretty funny.
I fucking love that.
But he's kind of like amongst the people who were around at that time. Like for his little graffiti he did, there's a lot of people that are like, "What's up with Dio420, man?" He was like a little cult classic graffiti writer. You know what I mean?
That's what's up. That's what's up. I wonder if there's any like Dio420s on Flickr.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
You can go ahead and keep talking. I'm just gonna look it up.
Yeah. So, Oscar kind of put us on. We were running around painting stuff, tagging everywhere, learning kind of the lay of the land, right? And at this whole time, like I'm doing very bad bombing street graffiti.
This is fire.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
Yeah.
So we were doing like really mediocre kind of bombing graffiti. But like I told you, my initial like spark was the stuff that I had seen in the source, which a lot of it was like old FX productions.
Uh-huh.
And man, I wanted to do that, right?
Yeah.
So
Hip hop.
But I had no idea where to even start. I made all the classic moves where like I was drawing to a point that I couldn't paint. You know what I mean? So like it wasn't applying to the wall.
Sure.
Like I could draw better than I could paint.
Right. You didn't have the muscle memory.
I didn't have the muscle memory.
Right.
I didn't know the process. Like that's one of the biggest things I feel like about being good at painting and being able to do stylish, connections and things like that is once you get the process of painting down, then it gives you the opportunity to flex yourself a little bit more creatively.
Yeah.
Right? Because I remember like going and trying to do pieces where like every time I painted, I did it in a different way.
Oh, okay.
Because I was like trying to figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't really land on your feet yet as far as the style.
Yeah, and like, I the process of, sketching, filling it in, outlining, like that was never different.
Right.
But it was like how I layered things and how I made connections and stuff like that. I started to do
arrows coming out of nowhere.
Yeah, I was,
Yeah.
So I think, I was trying to figure it out. And at that time, like I said, we're bombing, doing street stuff.
Sure.
And then
now at this point, are you writing Twigs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had been pretty much the whole time except for like the first 6 months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah,
So
yeah.
6 months of this random name, and then you're like, all right, how'd you get to Twigs?
How did I get to Twigs?
Yeah, like
you probably didn't notice, but when I was a teenager, I was extremely skinny. So times have changed.
Yeah.
I like could not gain a pound. And my buddy was like, "You should write Twigs because you're like skinny as
You're a
shit."
fucking twig.
Yeah, exactly.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then like back then, like I wanted like a longer name, and so
you're
when
writing Twigger.
Well, with an A.
Oh, Twigga.
Yeah.
Shout out my Twigga.
Yeah, exactly. And somebody told me that it meant giraffe in Swahili, which I've looked it up. It does.
Yo, that's sick.
Yeah.
Twigga means giraffe. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you're rocking this like Swahili name.
But then, like I changed it.
Yeah.
The times changed. I decided that maybe that wasn't such a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I've even like put an ER on it, and
yeah,
I'll get some comment like insinuating that somehow it's racist or something. But
it's funny. Is the first joke I thought, I was like, yeah, man, you can't really rock the hard R.
Yeah, you can't. You can't. Where I'm like, at the time, I'm not even thinking about it. I'm just like thinking about the way that people write their
how you
word in
extend
graffiti,
it and shit like that. What's funny is I've actually thought about, because I love R's.
Yeah.
Just the kickoff of an R is so hot.
Yeah.
And I've never pieced it, but I've always like caught like little sketches, and I'm like MYANR, like Myaner.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of like, I don't know if that sounds right, know?
No.
It doesn't, right? But it's just kind of like, I'm like so hell-bent on one day pulling off an R just 'cause.
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah, R's are hot, 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, I used to write a name before with a K at the end, and K and R are essentially the same shit, and I just loved the kickoff of a K, especially tagging it.
Yeah.
Tagging a K is so much fun. There's
And
so
at the
many different
end,
ways.
it's good.
Yeah, oh, exactly. So I totally know what you're talking about.
Yep. Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out how to paint.
Yeah.
Kind of my collective peer group are kind of all in the same position, I would say.
Gotcha.
Piecing wise.
You're all learning together.
We're all learning together. And then I think in 2006, this guy Journey moved here.
Yeah.
From the East Coast.
Yeah.
And again, Oscar knew him via this weird connection that has nothing to do with graffiti.
Fire.
And then we all kind of
started hanging out.
And he had like a much richer influence of older people who had kind of like put him onto things.
Yeah.
Closer to like an area where the style was more of what I was interested in. Mm-hmm. So that was a really good person for me to link up with because, and we made fast friends and became super close.
Yeah, I mean,
one of my
East
best
Coast
friends
graffiti.
today,
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. No, I was just saying East Coast graffiti obviously influenced, the entire nation.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, from New York to spreading out to what it is.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so he was probably the first person outside of a few older guys when I was living in the Pacific Northwest, like this guy Sasquatch, this guy Vapor, BC, those guys were much better than I was because they were older and they had been doing stuff for a long time. But Journey was like the first peer that I met.
Yeah.
That was much better.
He was already ahead of what you
he
guys
was
were all
much
doing.
better.
Yeah.
And that really changed, I think, a lot of the dynamic for my graffiti in a lot of ways because it gave me somebody to kind of chase. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you surround yourself among better people, and you're only going to be a better person.
Yeah.
So I totally understand what you're talking about.
That's really the key, I think, to any kind of, learned skill is surrounding yourself with people that are better than you.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's who you're going to learn from, and you also like, especially graffiti's competitive in a lot of ways. I'm not a super competitive person, but even not being super competitive, I'm like, I'm not going to let myself get burned this bad.
Yeah. You don't want to be the shitty one at the production.
Yeah. Oh, I was many times.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I made a comeback though. I get him every once in a while.
Hey man, the greatest people in the world still have their off days.
Yeah, exactly. So that was really like a good connection for me.
Yeah, for sure.
It was also, I think, outside of that, I've always been very lucky, especially in those early days, to surround myself with people who had good heads on their shoulders. I've never been like an overly social graffiti writer.
Okay.
I know a lot of people,
Yeah.
but like I always kind of picked
Yeah,
people
I mean,
that
I feel you. It's
I
fun
al-
to have a smaller circle. Like, still talk to people for sure, but like, yeah, I get what you're talking about.
Yeah, it wasn't even about like keeping a small circle because I wasn't interested in getting to know people. It was just that like, like any kind of scene, there, especially that's like tied to such like machismo fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shitheads and
yeah.
line steppers and people who are fake friends and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
the way I was raised around like a lot of kind of fucked up hustler people.
Yeah.
And so from a very young age, I learned to pick up on bullshit.
Yeah, you have an eye for it.
I have an eye for bullshit.
Yeah,
so
you can smell it far away.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, I'm going to keep you at arm's length.
yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of people I've met over the years that are like good people, but there's something about them that I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't know.
It's all good, man. I know a few myself.
Which is, it's okay to be cautious. I mean, it can
Yeah.
it's probably a flaw of mine in some ways, but So, like I said, I've always been super lucky to have really close, tight-knit relationships with people
Okay.
that I really felt like expanded out beyond just an interest in graffiti.
That's tight.
That was something I really wanted
Yeah.
in my crews that I was part of,
Sure.
or the, just the graffiti friends that I had, that we had a rich relationship that was outside of just the aspect of painting.
Gotcha.
Because I think you really need to build trust. If you're going to do anything that's illegal,
Yeah, for sure.
you need to really be able to trust these people.
Absolutely.
And like, if you're going to spend a lot of time with people, like, get to really know them and be their friend, you know?
Yeah.
Graffiti shouldn't be
Yeah,
the
the only
line
thing.
to-
I'm right there with you.
So realistically, I've just been really lucky to meet some really cool people who have been able to like, keep me on the right path and challenge me artistically and creatively and,
But still be a solid homie to have a beer with on the weekend.
yeah, exactly.
I feel you.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah. So, Oakland was really a big turning point for me because obviously there was a scene here. It was still pretty small and definitely like there was kind of a big line drawn in the sand. It felt like there was like a much older generation with, history and stuff like that was really, really good.
Yeah.
And then there were like, we were probably one of the, not the first waves, obviously, but during that period, there was definitely like a scene of people who were coming to Oakland to paint, right?
Right.
And there was a handful of people, you know? So it felt different. And it wasn't like, and when I say the older generations, like the TDK guys, like we weren't hanging out with TDK guys. And,
right.
And not because we didn't want to, because they weren't hanging out with us.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's fair.
But we all were like, amazed by it. That was like my first real introduction to a lot of very regionally based style that I got to like pick up on that.
Yeah.
Because Washington didn't have it so much.
Gotcha.
Seattle kind of does.
Okay.
At the time I was living there, there wasn't really anybody doing like a piecing style.
Yeah.
Maybe like Sneak,
Okay. But I totally feel you. I mean, you look at TDK, and obviously, if you really pay attention to them, they all have their own style, but they also have a very like cohesiveness through the crew that they all complement each other very well in the way that what they do.
Exactly. And
so I know what you're talking about.
That was really cool for me to see because that was like,
you see their pieces together and you're like, damn, these fools got it all fucking lined up.
Yeah. And that's what I wanted to do.
Sure.
And I wanted to be able to do that with my friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was a big turning point for me because I got to see so much influence and style and stuff and be able to pick up on like, oh, this is where I want to go. It was like kind of like a reset on that initial thing that kind of sparked my interest was being able to see this kind of level of talent in person and aspire to do it. Now, I didn't even attempt to try to do anything like they were doing for many years.
Sure.
It was something that I'm proud of myself. I didn't step foot in those yards and paint those walls
Okay.
until I felt like I was going to do something that was even remotely good enough
Gotcha.
to be on there. I
Okay.
always tried to be really respectful
Yeah.
of Oakland's history and their piecing scene, and not just, go in there and...
That's nice of
Do
you,
a
man, because a lot of
shitty
people don't
straight
do that
ladder.
now.
Well, I think, maybe it's just the generation I came from, or just
Yeah.
like my moral, compass was,
Sure.
I wanted to show some respect.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure I did some stuff that pissed people off and shit like that.
Yeah, but
I got the out-of-towner thing called on me a few times, stuff like that.
fair enough.
Which, whatever, I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always tried to be really respectful of that stuff. So I didn't paint in any of those like legendary yards in the East Bay for
Until
like
later on.
years. Yeah,
Yeah.
later on.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah. So it was mostly just like street stuff we were painting, and then, spots like you've talked about on the podcast before, like Merit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like that's been around forever.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Actually,
580 wall,
oh, yeah, the 580 wall.
X-Vey wall.
Yeah. Diet showed me a hard copy. This was a while back, actually, and it was like him doing a piece at Merit Wall, and it was
Yeah.
like still virgin walls. Like there was still space.
Yeah.
In between the pieces of like,
That's
and it was
sick.
just like, wow, fuck, man. That's
Yeah.
so crazy to imagine being the dude that discovered fucking Merit.
Yeah.
Into what it is now.
Yeah,
right?
they were pumped. I'll
Yeah.
tell you that.
Yeah.
So,
It's a fucking dope wall.
yeah. So, I was going to places like that and painting,
Yeah.
and just trying to get better, still doing piecing, still doing bombing, starting to try and paint trucks, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And just like
Yeah.
participate in the scene. And I think the next wave for me was, like I said, Journey and I became friends, and he was from the East Coast. And a lot of his friends from the East Coast were like more so painting the type of graffiti that I wanted to paint.
Yeah.
And he was in college at the time.
Okay.
And so we would have all these people come out
Sure.
and visit him,
Okay.
but he was too busy to hang out with them.
You're
So
like, yo, I'll paint with you.
I became the tour guide.
Fire.
So,
Yeah.
tons and tons of writers over
Yeah.
the years, like I showed around the Bay Area.
That's tight.
Yeah.
That's cool networking like that.
Yeah, no, it was cool.
And you can also, meeting those people, it's like a different opinion, a different set of eyes.
Mm-hmm.
They'd be like, oh, try this, try that. Or even if they don't necessarily, you look at there and you're like, oh, that's kind of sick. Like I'm going
Yeah.
to, take that little technique and kind of apply it in my own way.
Yeah, and it also opened up the ability to travel to where they were, right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So
Yeah.
after like a couple years of like meeting a lot of these people, I started to travel the
Yeah,
U.S.
homie,
to
I'm
paint
gonna be in
graffiti.
your area. Yeah.
I'm going to New York. Yo, what's up? I'll come, I'll go paint with you. Philadelphia, Detroit, Pittsburgh.
You've seen a lot of the U.S., huh?
Yeah, I've been in 48 of the U.S. states
Holy shit.
as an adult too, and painted or tagged in almost every one of them.
Yeah. That's tight.
Painted in Alaska.
Alaska.
Yeah, I did a rooftop there. It ran for like 15 years.
Oh, shit. How do you, did someone tell you, like, when it got buffed?
Yeah, my mom.
Is your mom still live in Alaska?
No, my mom passed away last year.
okay.
No, it's all good, but
Yeah.
she was always a big supporter of stuff. So
So if she saw your stuff, she'd...
yeah, she knew about it because
Yeah,
it was
okay.
like down the street from her work. Like I remember the night I did it. The
Yeah.
next morning, she was like, "You little shit,"
That's so fire.
Yeah,
Damn,
it's pretty fun.
15-year runner. That's tight.
Yeah.
Fuck,
Oh,
man.
actually, something that's cool about that rooftop spot is, so my little sister actually grew up in Alaska,
Okay.
and she just told me this last year too. I never knew this. So I painted that rooftop, and because I painted the rooftop, the local teenagers realized you could get up there, and that became the hangout spot to drink beer and smoke weed.
So you, like, kicked off a spot for
Yeah,
kids to kick it.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool to hear. I was like,
Yeah.
that's cool. Plus, it's like Alaska. There's not shit going on.
You're
so,
right,
like,
right. Never been, but, like...
I set up the clubhouse,
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ride motorcycles, and
Mm-hmm.
so like I watch the Revzilla YouTube channel every
Yeah.
once in a while, and they did a thing where they rode these fucking little 120cc bikes from like one side of Alaska to the other, and it was
Crazy.
just like crazy seeing that shit. And I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, it must be cool to see. But then you're like, okay, but now you're in Alaska, and there really ain't shit to do.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's not. I mean,
Yeah,
except for be in
tag
the
on
wilderness.
stuff.
Be in the wilderness.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
yeah. I mean my family that live there live in quotation the city there.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
which is Anchorage. It's kind of a rowdy city because it's like
Is it?
as close you could get to old timey gold rush times in my
Yeah.
opinion, because
Yeah.
it's like, but it's the economy has changed there, so it's like people who work on the pipeline, people who work on the fishing boats. It's like these grizzly men and women that go out for 3 months, make a shitload of money, and then they come back to the city,
And just
and
drink
now
like
it's
crazy.
just buy the bar, give everyone a drink,
Yeah.
just blowing money.
Yeah, I've seen interesting documentaries of Alaska where it's like the alcoholism there is pretty gnarly.
Well, yeah, that's kind of a twofold thing, right?
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, I'm not an expert by any means, but
Neither am I.
there's the natives are very impacted by
yeah,
alcohol. And
Yeah.
it's really taken a toll on a lot of the families up there for sure. And
yeah. That's kind of what I was
fetal
seeing.
alcohol syndrome, which is really, really sad. I had a friend when
Fuck.
we were living up there that had that, and it was really sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fucked up. You don't think about that,
Yeah,
a whole, group of people who react so differently to, collectively from,
yeah,
a substance. It's kind of wild.
yeah. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alaska is very interesting.
Yeah, it's cool.
I mean, I'm just saying for that aspect,
Yeah.
right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
other than that, I have no interest for Alaska
Yeah, yeah,
whatsoever. But
yeah.
but anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
So, 48 states
Yep.
painting like fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool, man. Fucking that's very inspiring.
Yeah. It was
You know.
fun.
I like to travel myself, and so but I've only ever really traveled internationally. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I've never been really interested in traveling here in the U.S. I'm just kind of like, no, I want to get the fuck out of here,
Uh-huh.
But I think also being Guatemalan and as an early kid going to Guatemala and
Yeah.
kind of getting used to already getting out of the U.S. It's just like this just made I want to see other places of the world, but
Yeah. I mean, I think I would probably rather do what you do, than see there's a lot of parts of the U.S.
yeah,
that are great, amazing. You should see them.
yeah,
There's a lot of parts of it where you could just close your eyes and drive right on by, because it's
yeah, they ain't shit there.
there ain't shit going on.
Yeah, word. Right.
But it was fun. I did a lot of road trips,
Yeah.
and that was always really cool. The most notable one, I think it was 2010, 11.
Okay.
I think I saved up $2,200,
All right.
and I planned out this whole trip from the East Coast, via Megabus.
Oh,
You remember Megabus?
yeah, Megabus for $1.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're
Dude,
talking
for
about.
2.5 months, I traveled and did graffiti and went to random cities and
On Megabus.
Yep, just traveled by Megabus and
What was the cheapest ticket? $1?
No, I never got a dollar one, but
Because the
definitely-
dollars are just local, right?
definitely $11.
Fuck.
No. So the way that it worked is, when a specific batch of tickets went for sale,
Okay.
the first person paid $1. This is how I remember it.
Okay.
And then it gradually went up.
Gotcha. So you're like the 11th person to buy the ticket?
Yeah, maybe, potentially, yeah.
That's fire. And where did $11 take you?
I think, so I went from Boston to Portland, Maine. We went out into the wilderness of Maine and had a crew meetup. Then I came back to New York City, went to Philadelphia, went from Philadelphia to Pittsburgh, went from Pittsburgh to Detroit.
You didn't do this all on $11, did you?
No.
Really? Okay.
I think in total for the tickets, I paid $250.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's tight.
And it was actually a cool way to travel. I know, the Greyhound and Megabus and all that stuff's pretty shitty.
Yeah.
But, it's shitty when you're taking it, to and from somewhere, like from your house to somewhere. For me, it was actually really like a relaxing thing because I would go stay somewhere for like a week in a person's house. And, you know, like when you're sleeping on somebody's couch, rightfully so, you don't get any privacy. You don't have any private time.
Right.
So like those times for me on the bus in between the cities were like a time to like decompress and kind of reflect on what had happened.
I'd taken Greyhound a lot as a kid, so I liked it. I never mind it.
Yeah, I mean,
slap some headphones on, you're in your own world.
I mean, dude, there's some kooks on some of those buses.
Yeah, for sure.
You
No,
know?
I mean, I think there was a dude jacking off one time I had an ex-girlfriend. I was telling you I lived in LA for a little bit, and so when we broke up, it was like that awkward year where you still talk to each other, and she moved to Long Beach, and I would take the Greyhound to go see her and shit like that, and there was like a dude jacking off in the front of the fucking bus, and I was just like,
what else is there to do on the Greyhound? I
mean,
guess?
not, you know, fuck it, man, you know, pick up a porno from the local gas station when you have like the 15-minute break, and then, you know, go to town.
That's insane. You got to be out of your mind to do something like that.
Yeah, I'm not pulling my shit out in front of people anytime soon.
No, and the Greyhound's dirty.
Dude. Dude, I can't even imagine how nasty the bacteria is on fucking a Greyhound. I don't even want to think about it.
You don't.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Fuck, man. That sounds like an epic fucking trick. $250 ain't really shit for you to like hit all of those places.
No, it wasn't shit, and some of them were back and forth. You know.
Yeah.
Too,
Yeah.
So.
Damn, that's what's up.
So I had like $2,000. I just lived off of it for like 2.5 months because it was just for food.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't pay for paint.
Yeah.
Because I was doing my little thievery.
Yeah, of course.
And just had a lot of fun. You know, it was like I had gotten out of a relationship, and I was like, you know, that relationship, I felt like it was really good, but like I was not really doing like what I wanted to do.
Gotcha.
So I like took some time to really like
dial in what you want to do.
Like, and I had spent years doing these kind of like blue collar jobs, and you know, never really taken time off to really go out and do too much. Maybe like a week here or there.
I mean, you got to live.
Yeah, so I just went.
Especially when you have like your health and, you know, it's like you have your youth. You got to enjoy it.
Yeah. So I just went crazy.
That's awesome.
Traveled around.
Yeah.
Had fun.
Painted like a motherfucker.
Yeah. And just hung out with a lot of my good friends and ate lots of good food. And, you know.
Any crazy stories during that? Close calls, things like that?
Yeah. So when I was in Pittsburgh, my boy Curve connected me with that dude who writes Soviet.
Okay.
He's an amazing writer.
Yeah.
That guy is so skilled. Amazing writer and artist. He's so talented. He like picked me up. I was staying with a friend from like childhood that lived in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And he ended up picking me up, and we had this super cool day. Like, he took me to his studio. We ended up like going down by the river. There was like these river boats, and we were.
I don't know why you said that. I think of Chris Farley.
Yeah. No, I know. And we were like hitting golf balls, I think, with baseball bats at the river boats. And we like did throw ups, and like that was super fun. And we were just hanging out, you know, having a good time.
It sounds like an absolutely amazing day, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was like a nice, beautiful, sunny day. It was fun. So he's like, well, I got to go do some stuff, but like we could meet up later and go paint.
Yeah.
They have like these spots called the bus lines.
Okay.
I think that's what they're called.
All right.
Because they're bus lines. And there's like, I think miles of like old crazy pieces and shit that are on them. It's like a really crazy spot in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
So
are these like rundown buses?
No.
Oh.
It's like a elevated road that's only for the buses, and below it is some sort of like maybe commuter train or something. Tracks, and there's walls that they've been painting.
Oh, okay.
So they call them the bus lines because you can really only see it from the bus.
Oh, okay.
So he's like, we can go paint this later, and you know, super crazy spot will be really cool for you to see. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
So he picks me up. We get our shit packed up. Mm-hmm. We like go down under this little, you know, over like road crossing over the bus line. And we go down and climb through a hole in the fence that's like in the middle of the fence. It's not at the bottom. It's
okay.
like just like a circle.
That's awkward.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird hole in the fence.
Yeah.
So anyways, we start walking down on these tracks. And he's like, all right, like, we're going to go paint this spot. Like, if we get spotted, like, just hide. Or, like, if a bus comes, just, like, lay on the ground.
Yeah.
They won't even see you. It'll go by. We'll be fine. We'll stand up.
Yeah, because they're not even looking down there.
Not really looking. So we're, like, starting to walk down on the tracks. And like I said, there was, like, right where we got in was, like, a crossing of, like, another road that went over the tracks.
Yeah.
And this man was walking by. And he's like, yo, what the fuck are you guys doing? You're not supposed to be down there, blah, 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 Yeah. And I'm like, oh, fuck, what do we do, Anyways, he's like, don't worry, it'll be fine. And this guy's walking to this hospital that's, like, right next to where we got in.
Okay.
So we go down, we're, like, setting up our spot to paint.
Sure.
Blah, blah, blah. And as soon as we're about to start painting, it must have been like a transit cop or a Pittsburgh PD officer comes down the bus lane, shining its light on us.
Oh, shit.
And we both lay on the ground, interestingly enough, like 10 feet away from each other, facing each other.
All right.
And we're like hiding, and he's like, we should be good, we should be good, we should be good. And then the dude like shines his spotlight on us and starts talking, I think over like a, speaker or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's like, he looks at me and he goes, you want to run? And I was like, yeah, let's fucking run. And so we just stood up and booked it.
Yeah.
And I fucking, like, Superman jumped through that hole in the fence.
Yes.
The cut in the fucking fence ripped into my back.
Oh.
I got this, like, 2-inch gash on my back. There's a scar still from it.
Fire.
And we go, like, running like idiots, like running different ways.
I mean, the adrenaline right now, you're not feeling nothing.
No, I'm not feeling shit. So he runs one way, I run the other way.
Uh-huh.
I've been in Pittsburgh for 2 days. I have no fucking idea where anything is.
Right, yeah.
I don't have a smartphone. There's no map. I don't have Uber.
You're just like running on pure instinct and adrenaline right now.
Yeah, got no idea what to fucking do.
That's awesome.
I'm hella far away from the place I'm staying.
Okay.
I run into the fucking emergency room. Because I'm like, there's nothing around there. So I go to the hospital. I go in the emergency room.
And you're like, I cut my back.
and I walk in and I go to this like person at the desk. I go, hey, do you have a restroom? And this guy turns the corner. It's the fucking guy yelling at us from the bridge. Who probably called the cops on us.
And he recognized you.
And he recognized me.
Oh, fuck.
And he was like, what are you doing in here? Blah, 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 And I was just like, I'm fucking out of here. And so I ran off, found some side street, went down it. Soviet called me, picked me up. We were all good. We got away. We never did anything.
Oh, okay. So you didn't even get a sketch or nothing. You were just like, oh, this is where we're going to go.
But like, to me, it was a cool experience. You know, it was like from that trip, it was.
You still have the scar to this day.
Still have the scar to this day. I always thought it was funny the way the dude saw me in the hospital. He was like, what the fuck are you doing in here, you idiot? Get out of here. And then I think we just ended up going to like a bar or something.
Yeah.
Hung out.
Still, though, that's pretty memorable.
Yeah.
That's the guy that yelled at you. Sure enough, he's there. Because you didn't know he was going to the hospital, right?
No.
Yeah.
I had no
You
idea.
just seen him where he was walking.
He was a nurse.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. He worked for the hospital.
Oh, that's even funnier.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yep. Yeah.
That's a good story. So for the user submitted question, Jake TGE says, "What are your hip hop pronouns?"
My hip hop pronouns.
And he also says, "How do you feel about ducks?"
I fucking love ducks. He hates ducks.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So funny enough, he's like afraid of swimming.
Oh, really?
And like was scared of these ducks one time at the river. We went up to the Russian River.
I met a girl one time who's deathly afraid of chickens.
Yeah. Some people aren't into birds.
Like it's like a phobia.
Yeah. I don't mind them. I like ducks.
All right, word.
I don't know what he's talking about hip hop pronouns.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to like fuck with you or
just
some
trying to
shit
fuck
like
with
that.
me.
Yeah. Let's see here. Devil says, when was the last time you had a plantain?
I think a month ago.
Oh, okay. You been big into plantains?
Love plantains. They're
Yeah.
great.
That's awesome.
I'm a big food guy.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
sick. If you're into plantains and shit, there's a spot called Eterna Primavera.
Okay.
It's on 24th in Alabama in the
Okay.
Mission, and it's a Guatemalan bakery, and so they have tons of like amazing pan dulce, but you can get the plantain breakfast.
Okay.
And so they have the plantain breakfast. Usually what I do is I just get the regular breakfast. It just comes with like sunny side up eggs because you get frijoles. They put like sour cream on. Well, it's not, crema is different from sour cream,
Sure.
but they put that, queso fresco, and then I get a side order of plantains.
Yeah.
And it's fucking fire.
I bet they're always good.
It's it's super cheap, but like it fills you up. Highly recommend it.
I also love plantain chips.
Oh, there you go.
Those are great.
Yeah, plantain chips are fucking fire.
Yeah.
I actually haven't thought about the last time I'm being a terrible Latino for saying that I don't eat plantain chips. I do eat them, but it's been a long time.
Yeah.
I try to stay away from salty foods in general.
Yeah. Not me.
No,
No.
I have high blood pressure, so
I probably do.
yeah, that's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair. Yeah, go get your blood pressure checked.
I will.
I always tell everyone just because I'm dealing with that shit now.
Yeah.
See here. Mikey907 says bombing versus piecing.
It depends.
Yeah.
I love piecing. I love bombing. I think the older I've gotten, I don't bomb as much.
Sure.
Life has changed for me
Yeah, I can imagine.
in a lot of ways. I've become more lethargic and lazy, probably because I have high blood pressure. I don't know, man. I have to be in the right mood
Yeah.
to want to go bombing.
Yeah. I feel it.
Yeah.
I feel it.
I don't have the drive I once did,
I think, well, at least for me, I only really bomb when I travel.
Yeah.
I do, of course I catch tags and shit around the city all the time. I mean, that's just a thing. But as far as like catching full, and I if I see a good opportunity, like, all right, yeah, I'll catch a hollow real quick,
Yeah.
for sure. But when I'm international, I don't know. I just feel like now that I'm older, I have a lot to lose,
Yeah.
I mean, I came from nothing, and I've worked fucking hard.
Yeah.
Like literally blood, sweat, and tears, grinding my fucking teeth down to get where I'm at.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just like you don't shit where you eat.
Same in a lot of ways. The other thing is like, there's a younger generation of people right now, especially in Oakland, that are fucking killing it.
Dude,
And I go
it's
out,
so nice to see.
and I go out and I paint, but like, dude, I'm not gonna keep up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm right there.
So
with you.
like, I'll go out and do some throw ups here and there.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be like one of these young people out there bombing because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like, I'm not fucking 23 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I wake up at 5 a.m. every day. I go to bed by 10.
But there's people our age, and I know Mikey. He's a cool dude,
Okay.
and he's painting a lot right now in the streets too. So it's just like, I think all about where you are in your life at that point. You know what I mean?
Sick.
And then like, yeah. Sometimes I get the itch. I usually go out and paint solo, which is not always the smartest thing to do, but I kind of love it. I'll get a good buzz going, and
Yeah.
I'll be like, you know what? I'm gonna go do a throw up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so like, if you see throw ups from me in Oakland, I probably went and did that on my own. Just something got me fired up.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely for me, bombing's more international. Just because I'm like, fuck it. What's the worst that's gonna happen? I'm probably, there's places I do want to come back to. Like
Sure.
I don't bomb in Japan because I love
Sure.
Japan and like
Yeah.
literally know people that have been banned for life to ever enter the country. So I'm just like, that's not worth it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, was the last spot I bombed at? Italy.
Sick.
I don't care to come back to Italy.
Yeah, and they're probably not going to ban you.
Yeah, I mean Italy's fucking tight. Don't get me wrong; it was a really dope ass trip. But if I get banned from Italy, it's all right. I can get pizza anywhere else.
Yeah.
And even that, they don't even have fucking real like,
You can just
American
go to New
pizza
Jersey or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a New York slice or whatever. It's just not,
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Let's see here. So, from the questions that I sent you, actually, there's one more question. Actually, Wolf says, "What are some of your favorite places to paint?"
Some of my favorite places to paint. I assume they're asking in regards to cities. or
maybe,
I guess I could give a mixture of both, right? So like,
yeah, like a tunnel, a street side, a
Yeah.
freight.
For me, a big part about painting graffiti is always the atmosphere and the experience of it as well. You know, like some of my friends and I, we always talk about this. There's like this nostalgic smell to trains,
Yeah.
and like the sounds and the way the lights are and things like that. So the coolest places for me to paint typically are in beautiful nature spots, to be honest with you.
Okay. Yeah.
Like those are always the funnest.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
Well, 9 times out of 10, too, you're in these spots. You're not really stressing about getting caught. You can actually really enjoy
Yeah.
yourself and immerse yourself
Yeah.
in what you're doing.
yeah. Like a few years ago, me and some people, we were in Oahu, and we got to paint one of those, you know, water
Oh yeah,
tunnels there.
Oahu's fun.
And we painted this one section that had these amazing like vine tree things that created like almost this like it almost made it like a gazebo in a way. It was really crazy. Like it grew and arched over from both sides of the two walls.
Oh, that's
like kind of
sick.
met in the middle. It was really crazy. It was super.
Yeah.
It was like a super cool experience. And you know about those creeks, like the water running, shit
Yeah.
like that. It's always very cool.
I loved painting Oahu.
Yeah,
It was so
yeah.
much fun.
Yep.
And there's-
And it's Hawaii. You can't
Yeah.
beat it.
I mean, you're like, you know, because it would be like, so it was me, Steiner, Selko, and my lady Tenchi. And the four of us were just like, we're just going to go there and just paint. And we met up with Retzi. Shout out Retzi. He's a super sick ass dude. And Merc and, God, I'm blessed. Shout out Merc and Bless. They're really fucking cool. Retzi had to go to work, but then Merc and Bless just like, we're like, all right, fool, we're gonna go cruising, and we just like kicked it
Yeah.
at a fucking park with like a bunch of like JDM cars, and we're just eating
Yeah.
fucking sushi from Don Quixote's.
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, this is fire.
Yeah,
We just
yeah,
love
it's a
some
good place.
local shit, you know, just doing nothing. But yeah, fucking hanging out in Hawaii is definitely fun. So you're like, all right, we're gonna pack a fucking couple of Masubis,
Yep.
get some fucking, you know, some watermelon and leaking powder.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm just gonna eat all this delicious food while I fucking paint
Yep.
in like a nice hot spot.
Yeah.
Not hot like cop hot, but like weather hot.
Yeah. I love it there, man. I have this like super strong connection.
You
to
said
that
you
place.
lived in Hawaii for a little bit.
Yep. When I was very little, my aunt was working as a exotic dancer
Fire.
in Honolulu, Hawaii, and
Okay.
my very young mother moved to Waikiki to live with my aunt,
Okay.
and I lived with them. We lived in Waikiki. It was sick. It was a great place. you know.
Damn. How old were you?
I was like age 2 to like 4.5,
Oh wow.
and I actually
Okay,
have
you're very
like
young.
visual memories from it.
Really?
Yep. Yeah. I have little snapshots in my head of it.
Yeah, I always think about that. Like, what's like your earliest memory and shit like that. I actually had that conversation with like a friend, like non-graffiti related.
I think I know mine.
What is it?
It was Christmas Day,
Oh, okay.
which is actually my birthday.
No shit.
Yep, Christmas baby.
Hanging out with Jesus today.
Hanging out with Jesus.
Fuck yeah. Graph Jesus.
Graph Jesus. And we were on the beach, my mom and I,
Okay.
and like those outrigger canoes?
Mm-hmm.
There was one of those, and there was a Santa Claus in it. And
I'm gonna put a backtrack, Hawaiian Christmas Day.
and he had exactly. And he had 2 elves in bikinis. And I'm pretty sure that's my first memory.
That is so incredibly Hawaiian.
Yeah.
I love it.
pretty
That's fire. My first memory was like 2 years old. I was at SeaWorld
Okay.
with my grandpa seeing the orca show.
Shamu.
Yeah, Shamu, exactly.
Shamu dead?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Because it's like that shit all went bad. It was like Shamu Jr. and then it was like Shamu 2 or whatever. They're just trying to hold on to that cash cow. And then you ever see Blackfish?
Yes.
Is it Blackfish? Whatever, but you know what I'm talking about. Or they have the
Oh.
documentary where they talk about how orcas are.
Yeah.
This is so not graffiti, but like,
It's okay.
yeah, the orcas are just like extremely emotional, and they're like their connection in their mind, the way it works, is like they're just so far advanced
Yeah.
to be in SeaWorld and tortured the way they are. And it was just like, I remember seeing that and being like fucking devastated. I'm such a pussy now, dude. I swear to God, I will tear up on the littlest shit.
It's okay.
I'm, and you know what? I am 100%, because once again, graffiti, right? It's like that machismo, right? It's like very much like, you know, cutthroat fucking sport. And I've never been that guy, and I have no problem staying in my lane and telling people that I'm not that person, you know?
Yeah.
So
Sure.
like, you know, the other day I got choked up. I was watching a fucking TikTok about like things in the 90s that were nostalgic, and it was like, I got choked up over Crunch bars being wrapped in foil. Do you remember that? Like,
yeah.
You know, or like Pop cereal used to come in like a silver bag instead of like a plastic bag. You know, it's just like those memories you think about, and you're like, God damn, I miss being a fucking kid. You know, like it's just a different vibe. You know, like
It's that blood pressure talking, dude.
ah man,
You just want a Crunch bar.
exactly,
Well,
dude.
like, I remember I used to get those.
I fucking want to eat what I want to eat, dog.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sick of being a fucking. Well, I'm not vegetarian, but like, you know, my lady Tenchi is, and so like, I eat a lot of vegetarian shit. You know, it's like, I mean, I want roast beef sandwich, but today I had turkey with avocado because it's, you know, good fatty acids.
I need to be on your meal plan, man, because I'm not following any of that. I'm fighting for my life.
Yeah.
I just eat what I want, and it's not working out well.
Well, you know, I mean, if you're down, we'll go paint. I'll take you to a nice fucking semi-healthy spot, and we'll get some good food to take with us to the paint spot, you know. And then after that, we'll go. You have a bicycle? We'll go bike ride.
Yeah.
I just got back into bike riding, actually. My boy hooked me up. Fucking fat.
Yeah.
No, obviously the listeners can't see, but you can. But that specialized bike right there, it's like a $3,000 carbon fiber bike.
Sick.
And my homie who runs a bike shop, the guy brought it in, got like $900 worth of parts and shit all serviced on and ready to go. Left it there for 6 months.
Damn.
So he hit me up and he was like, "Yo, I like can't give it to you, but I'd have to charge you at least for my labor or the parts. I won't charge you for the labor, but I'll kind of discount it and hook you up." And I ended up paying like $300.
Damn.
Yeah. So now I'm like, let's go bike.
I got lots of bikes, man. I'm super into
bike riding is fun.
road bikes and stuff like that. So yeah.
Shit, my bad.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm
dude.
down.
Hell yeah, that's
Also,
sick.
shout out Shamu.
Yeah, man, Shamu, dude. I haven't thought about that shit. It's just because obviously we're in this conversation, but like I haven't thought about that. That like, fuck, dude, I actually saw Shamu when I was a kid in Shamu's prime.
Yeah.
I'm sure Shamu's dead by now.
R.I.P. Shamu.
Dude, I wonder.
We're looking it up.
Yeah, I have to, just because we're talking about it.
You young kids don't know nothing about Shamu.
Oh, I know, man. Shamu.
Was Shamu and Free Willy?
Was
that Free Willy?
Fuck, I don't know, dog. You're like really taking it back now, dude. Like fucking Free Willy. I seen that shit in theaters, dude. Like I remember seeing that as a kid. And that fucking epic scene when he jumped over him and he had his hand up, it was just like so iconic, right? I think Michael Jackson did the soundtrack for that.
He did. Dude, we should do, if we go paint, man, we should go do the Free Willy
dude,
production.
So down. Look, literally related questions. Is Shamu the whale still alive? Let's see here. Shamu, August 16th, 1971, was a captive orca. Yeah. Oh, Shamu died in August 1971, 6 years after captivity. So I didn't see Shamu for sure in the 90s.
Yeah.
Who the fuck did I see? Fake ass Shamu.
Willy.
I saw Willie. Oh, man.
Post freedom.
Dude, free to boy fast.
Yeah. Yeah, free to boy fast.
Bro, okay, no, not for nothing, man. Okay, huge shout out to like all the really hood ass Oakland bombers.
Yeah.
That like are always like free my boy fast.
Yeah.
And then you come to find out that like they didn't even get wrapped for graffiti. They got wrapped for some like many ass shit. And I'm like, nah, keep that motherfucker in there.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm all for that shit. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah. Hood ass Oakland Riders. The word Shamu is up for grabs.
Oh my god! If someone starts writing Shamu, I will flick everything that you ever fucking do, man. I legit will fucking. I'll post you on Bay Area Graffiti.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you're a toy.
Yeah.
If you rock the name Shamu. You know.
You're killing it.
Yeah. God, those memories, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah. No, I'm the same. I've gotten a little bit softer over the years.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm all about it too, and I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I have no
Me
qualms
either.
about fucking me being me.
Me either.
All right, so let's see here. Here's a good one. So with graffiti, I mean, you said yourself, you kind of like slowed down with bombing and whatnot. How do you balance graffiti with your normal life? Because I think sometimes, you know, like I try to talk about work-life balance in a way, and I've asked this to a few people, but it's always interesting to hear it from other people. You know, sometimes graffiti can consume you in many ways. You know, how do you balance that in your life?
For me, it's really challenging.
Yeah.
And it's not something I want to overly go into, but I'll just kind of talk about it a little bit.
Sure.
I actually have a very, I have a job for a spray paint company. So
That's cool.
and my job is essentially to like manage a lot of the business side of things, but also all the marketing activities that we do. So
Yeah.
my day-to-day life is filled with graffiti.
Yeah.
And so that's made it a lot more challenging over the last 8 years, because it's like
Sure.
I'm just every day, all day long, you know, just
Now,
dealing with graffiti.
with that being said, does it burn you out? Do you get burnout from
Yeah,
that?
yeah, that's where I'm heading.
Yeah.
I got really jaded and burnt out on it,
Yeah.
to be honest with you, and that's kind of been
Because, you know,
really
it's like
hard
people talk
for me.
about that shit like, oh, it's a dream job to, like, you know, do this and that. And I always think to myself, no, that's not. Because then it becomes, you know, like, for example, and this is completely random, but like, for example, my tío Tingue came and visited us from Guatemala. He stayed with us for a few years, and he got a job being a janitor at a strip joint, and he's a fucking freak. So he was like, yo, I couldn't walk around. I walked around for 8 hours with a boner.
Yeah.
And after working there for months, he couldn't get it up anymore because he just see naked titties and ass.
Damn, he
and all
timed
these-
out, dude.
Yeah, he was just like, yeah, whatever, man.
motor
I
broke.
just gotta clean cum off of the fucking floors and shit. You know, I don't give a fuck about chicks, you know, like, so it's just kind of, you get jaded, you know, like, I know this is completely different from graffiti, but my point is that when you're overexposed to something, eventually it just becomes like, noise.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's also like I have to deal with every single personality that there is in graffiti.
Oh yeah.
And
That sucks.
it's also really great. You know, I've been able to meet a lot of people I really look up to, and you know, had exposure to things I never would have had without my job. But yeah, it definitely does burn you out, right? Because it's like, no matter what, like, if you were a carpenter and you went to a job site for 8 hours a day, do you want to go home and work on your home project? No, you don't.
Yeah.
You want to veg out and chill.
Yeah.
You know, so, and that's made it challenging with some of my friends, right? Because I'm not as interested in this as they are still.
Yeah.
Because to them, that's their like blowing off steam
Right.
after a hard day's work. Whereas for me, I'm like, I don't want anything to do with graffiti right now.
Yeah.
So that's been a challenge. But outside of that, like, I think advice I would give thinking about myself is I think it's really important to not isolate yourself in a scene and make it so that all of your friends are just all into one thing. Like, I think it's really healthy to have like a diverse group of friends that have various different interests to help kind of keep you in check, so you don't go too far down, like, you know, the nerd wormhole
Yeah.
of like graffiti, you know, like graffiti is a beautiful thing. It's really interesting in a lot of ways, but to a lot of people, it's fucking boring.
Yeah.
And so, like, you know, you don't want to find yourself like at your girlfriend's friend's house that don't know anything about graffiti, and all you have to bring to the table is talking about like so-and-so was up in the 90s and they
yeah.
created this, you know.
I saw this flare tag on the way over here. It was fucking
Yeah,
hot.
like,
yeah, I
you know,
feel you.
so I've really tried to make sure that like I have a wide array of friends that do a lot of different stuff. Like, a lot of my friends are musicians, you know, other types of visual art, things like that. And then people who are not creatives at all. And I think in a lot of ways that helps me understand it. It also helps me take a lot of influence even from them, from a creative perspective, because they're all into really interesting, weird shit too. You know what I mean? And like, I think that's really healthy.
Okay.
In my 20s, I would say that every single one of my friend
was a graph writer. Yeah.
And then as I got older, I kind of felt like that wasn't super healthy for some reason.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I think for the first time, like 3 years ago when I got into motorcycles, was the first time that I hung out with people that weren't into graffiti.
Yeah.
It was just like, we're into motorcycles, but like, other than that, literally everyone that I talk to is a graffiti writer.
Yeah. And it's like, it's
now
a
it's
very
nice.
similar thing too, because it's like, I bet your buddies you do motorcycle stuff with are as big of nerds about motorcycles.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
If not more.
But it's nice to, be like, okay, if I go paint with a bunch of people, or like I go to a bunch of art shows, and it's like you get like the dark side of like the graffiti drama and gossip and this, and you're like, all right, I'm burnt out, and I can go catch a ride on my bike with the homies, not talk to anyone. That's one thing I love about motorcycle riding.
Yeah.
I'm just by myself on the road with homies. We might stop to eat something. That's when we talk. But then when I get burnt out of like because I drive a hardtail fucking chopper, so there's like no suspension and it fucks you up. When I'm sick of that for a weekend, I can go fucking switch over to graffiti. So kind of have the two hobbies to swap out.
Yeah. I think it's also, the more I think about it, I think it's important to stay true to yourself and be unique and not fall so much. Because one of the things that I think is a little bit different, and I think some music scenes are more like this with graffiti, is like there's like a lifestyle aspect to it. That wasn't as prevalent when I was younger.
Gotcha.
Than there is now. Like I noticed there's this very specific kind of, and maybe that's not true. Maybe it was very similar, but it's like I'll go to an art show with younger people and I'm like, it's a sea of all the same people. I'm sure their personalities are much different, but there's almost
just
like
North Faces everywhere.
Well, that's what it used to be, right? It used to be like way more North Face and shit like that. But just like making sure that you don't lose all your other interests, and like you don't become like homogenous and this bland thing that's just like, I am a graffiti writer first and foremost, and then a human being second, you know?
Yeah. I feel that.
So that's my big thing, is like, I always try and make sure that I check myself in that regards,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And speaking of hobbies, what hobbies do you have outside of graffiti?
I do a lot of like projects around the house, fixing things up, doing like, I have this really weird kooky neighbor who's always buying like these creepy antiques of like clowns and stuff, and I repaint those a lot.
That's tight.
I'll do some more like traditional art stuff on the side, just like kind of for
Step away
myself.
from that,
I don't really show it to anyone.
Yeah.
I love cooking. I barbecue all the time.
Yeah.
I'm super into like
wet or dry rub?
Depends.
Okay.
Yeah, usually I smoke stuff, so usually I'm going dry.
Gotcha. I'm a sauce boss.
I put it on at the end.
Oh, there you go.
For the last hour.
You know what's funny is actually one of my favorite things to do, and I've actually tricked a few people, is you can't do it. Well, you can do it still, but there used to be McDonald's, and they had pump barbecue sauce. It wasn't like the little barbecue packets that they give you. It was straight up pump.
Okay.
So I'd go there with a whole bottle. And I'd pump a whole bottle of McDonald's barbecue sauce. Yeah. And I used to just fucking marinate and base my shit with that. And people would be like, dude, what's your recipe?
You had the full slab McRib?
Yeah.
Sick.
Legit. And they would just be like so astonished. Like, yo, it has this like familiar flavor, and I'm just thinking in the back.
You were legit just making a McRib.
Yeah, legit, but like a way better one.
Yeah, a way better one.
But it's just so funny thinking in the back, like, you fucking idiots! Like this is just McDonald's barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so I love barbecuing. I love cooking.
That's what's up.
Riding old steel road bikes. Like I have like a bunch of old steel road bikes that I like
your
to
knees.
fix up and like tinker with. So
Jesus
working
Christ.
on the bikes. I'm super.
Yeah, because you said you had a lot of bikes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's tight.
I'm super into gardening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That's sick. I mean, you can see our little plant shelf here. There's like 5 times the amount in our bedroom.
Yeah.
Tenchi's really into fucking plants, but as a result, I've fallen in love with this.
Yeah,
and I have my little collection of like cactus because I forget
So
to water.
that's primarily what I have.
Yeah, I forget to water. So
Yeah.
like for sure, I was like, I need something that's not gonna like depend on me.
Yeah, so like I built out like a crazy like backyard at the place I live, and like put in like an outdoor shower and bathtub.
Fire.
Like I built this like barbecue setup and like my
Sick.
little garden bed.
So you're just
and
like
stuff.
soaking up and shit while your meat's being smoked.
Yep, and then
You're just taking it all in.
and then like I spent like 2 years like stealing plant clippings and propagating them until I
Yeah,
had like this
yeah.
massive garden.
I'm actually really jealous right
Yeah.
now. That sounds like an amazing
So-
day, just like smoking some meat, chilling in your bathtub outside,
Yeah,
looking at all your plants
Yeah.
on a hot Oakland day
yep.
with a
Chilling.
brewski. I'm coming over one of
And
these
then,
days.
yeah, you can. And then people are like, "Do you want to go bombing?" I'm like,
Nah,
I think I'm in for the night. I think I'm in for the night.
I'm not mad at you, dude.
Yeah.
That just like sound, you know, it's funny. It's like all the younger people that are listening to this right now are like, look at these fucking old fucks talking
Yeah.
about chilling. That sounds like an amazing fucking night, regardless of what age you're in.
Yeah. Well, guess what, young people? I'm not trying to be a hater, but in 2 years, your graffiti is going to get buffed over.
Yeah,
And then you're going to be barbecuing just like my old fat ass.
I love
So,
it.
it's true.
Yeah, no,
It's
for
true.
sure.
I mean, look, I love doing graffiti. I mean, in relation to that, it's like I never like bombed Oakland in a way that was like never been done before. But I did a lot of graffiti.
Sure.
But I had friends and acquaintances that came through and fucking smashed that place. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and some younger kids right now wouldn't even know that ever happened because none of it's there.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no, I mean, I have that conversation, like, you know, with, like, my nephew and shit. He's a lot younger. He's, like, really into bombing. And
Yeah.
I'm like, man, you know, like, obviously I'm more into piecing. And I'm just like, dude,
Yeah.
some of these cutty tunnels that I'm
Yeah.
in, I know I'm going to run for the next 40 years. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, people might find it.
Yeah.
But there's some very obscure spots that
Yeah.
I've been able to find over time. And I'm just like, you know what? You're going to
Yeah.
hit that throw and it's going to be gone in a week.
Yeah. Well, that's also like my thing is like do the bombing while you feel you can do it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and you have your time. That's like I'm saying, like a lot of people it's their
Yeah.
time to shine. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
If I was to go to an art show, I'd be around a bunch of kids like in Oakland, I'd be around a bunch of kids who are fucking killing it and I'm nowhere near as up as they am in any regard.
Yeah.
But, you know, in most cases, a lot of those kids will know who I am because I have painted pieces and I've done stylish graffiti and I did paint there, you know? And I think you also have to have a healthy balance depending on what kind of writer you want to be
Yeah.
to like not only bomb, but also get really good at piecing and
Yeah.
doing things and being really well-rounded because like, you know, that's how you end up having longevity in graffiti. You know?
Yeah, and it's been said time and time again, right? It's
Yeah.
a marathon. It's not a race.
Yeah.
For sure. And I think I forget if it's Infamy or whatever, but NM
Yeah.
said it best, right?
Yeah.
You know, you might be the best pitcher, but you're not the best baseball player,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
It's good to be more well-rounded and have
Yeah.
a bit of both. So
Yeah.
I completely agree with that.
And I do think there's like this energy and thing you can pull out of being on the streets late at night and painting graffiti and getting away with it. And that's really like something that obviously piecing and chill spots and all that shit can't give you. But for most people that has a time clock.
Yeah.
And there are people that have killed it for decades in that way.
Yeah.
Those people are anomalies. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, if you're in
you
far
know.
between, for sure.
MQ, that guy's fucking
Yeah.
amazing. He's been
Yeah.
doing shit for years.
Yeah.
Hate to break it to you guys, most of you people are not going to be MQ.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
So, I mean, it's just some people are built different.
Yeah.
Fucking kill it while you can.
Yeah.
I'll sneak out and about every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you'll also have some sick-ass runner spots.
Yeah. And I'll look at them on my phone in my bathtub in my backyard.
Dude, I'm so jealous. It's funny because it's like we obviously just have just a standard apartment bathtub.
Yeah.
But like Japan really changed me with the onsen.
Yeah.
We went into Hakone, and I went to like an actual volcanic, natural, mineral enriched water onsen.
Yeah.
And by the way, you have to be ready to show your dick off to a bunch of fucking Japanese men. I mean, that's just like, they don't think of like sexuality, right, the way we do here. So I'm sitting there just, washing my ass to be clean to get into the onsen with, luckily, it's Japan, so I have the biggest dick there. So I'm doing all right. But but I'm sitting in this onsen, butt ass naked, and I'm just like, you know what? Other than all the penises in my fucking face right now, this is extremely relaxing. And so like I've gotten back and I'm like trying to like emulate that with my tiny little bathtub. And like, first of all, it's like, okay, this onsen's filled to the brim and there's like spill off and like, gutters and to catch the water. Here I'm like, I should have probably filled it halfway because I didn't account for my fat ass mass going into the bathtub to lift it past. And so then I sit there and I'm just like, man, I really want to stretch out, but I can't because I'm in this tiny little fucking,
bathtub.
Yeah. And it's, it's like, I was in Hakone, it's like I'm sitting there looking at the mountains. I'm seeing like real like fucking leaves falling and shit. I hear the rain and it's like, this is a vibe. Or supposed to me, I'm just looking at like, the cheapest Home Depot tile, that this apartment complex can get. So it's a completely different vibe. But yes, the bathtub on the outside, very jealous. Let me tell you.
Just so you guys know, he has an employees must wash hands sign in his bathroom too.
Yeah, I racked that. I see.
I thought you moved into like an old office building. No. And then I looked at it and saw there was
no. Please scribe that on the way out. I racked that from I noticed that it was slightly coming off.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, say less. I fucking love scribing these, so I straight up ripped it off. I scribed it. I had Tenchi scribe it, and then I always tell. It's funny. I've told many people, I'm like, scribe that on the way out, and no one has. So it's just me and Tenchi there. Yeah. But yeah, please do. I wanted to be completely decked out.
Sick.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny.
It is funny.
I put it on there, and like Tenchi walks into the bathroom and just rolls her eyes. She's like, "Why is that there?" I'm like, "It's funny." She's like, "Oh God." I mean, there's, you can see there's very limited graffiti. She's,
Yeah.
She's my wife, man. She gets to. I told her, I was like, "You take care of whatever you want to do, and you want to make this apartment look the way you want it."
Yeah.
And as a result, the apartment looks nice because it looked like a shit show when it was just me living in here.
Yeah.
So when she moved it in, she made it real nice. So.
I mean, you still got some stuff in here.
I got my little man cave corner.
Yeah,
I got a little china cabinet with all my hoe scales.
She didn't put you entirely in the storage unit.
I mean, if we had a garage, I told her, if you ever buy a house, I'm like, you know what? Take the entire fucking house. Just give me the garage.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
That makes sense.
I need my little man cave.
Yeah.
And then she's gonna make it look way nicer than I can. I mean, dude, fucking, when I first moved into this apartment years ago, I had a fucking, milk crate. Damn. I didn't have a couch.
Damn.
I've always been like, for the most part, very poor in my life, and I always had roommates, and like, I never. This is the first apartment I've ever actually lived on my own by myself.
Yeah.
And so when I first moved in, I didn't have a fucking couch. I didn't have no furniture, nothing. I had a mattress on the floor before I got my box springs. So it's like, she comes in and she's just like, all right, we're changing this. Like. This is a bar. Never once used it as a bar, and she got the idea like, all right, let's get some bar stools. I'm like,
and now you've sat there.
Yeah, and I eat breakfast there.
Nice.
I'll cook, and she'll be at there, and it'll be nice to reach over and give her a fucking, we got the espresso.
Yeah.
Like
you're not eating on the mattress.
Yeah,
on the floor
I don't have
anymore.
fucking instant coffee. I have a nice cappuccino every morning. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm telling you, women upgrade your life in a good way.
I also think it's like a rite of passage for a single man to sleep on a mattress on the floor.
Yeah.
Like if you haven't done that, you've not really lived.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Hey, quick question. So like with TGE, you're also YME, right?
Yep.
Okay, so how many years? Like any little bit of a little history, just to touch base on that, and like
for the crew.
Yeah, and then like when did you get into those crews?
Okay, so YME was started by Learn and Lack and Ick.
Okay.
A little bit later on. Is it 30 years ago? 20 years ago.
20 years ago?
Sorry, not 30. And TGE, 1999.
Okay.
Is when it started. So what is that?
Fuck. 24 years ago?
24 years ago.
Yeah.
And
Damn, going to quarter century next year.
Yep,
Sick.
almost there. And then TGE started the same year,
Okay.
and it was Curve, Esteem, and Ronin, and it was started in Philadelphia.
Okay,
And
so they had nothing to do with each
And
other.
YME is from Portland, Maine.
Oh,
originally.
okay.
Yep.
Because I noticed there's obviously a lot of TGE, YME.
There's a little overlap. It's just Journey and I.
Oh, okay. All right.
We're the only ones who are in both.
Gotcha.
And I got in TGE, I think, in 2008.
Okay. It's been a
Maybe.
minute.
Yeah, so like so many of them had traveled here, and like I told you, I was
Yeah, you were kicking it. They were like, all right.
Then I traveled there, and like we all became like friends.
Sure.
Jake used to live here, and Jake and Journey were in it, and they basically like were like, put this dude down. He's like one of our closest friends. You know?
Yeah.
So I was just in it.
Okay.
Which like is a, TGE is like a really close group of friends.
Sick. Sick.
There's some people that are a little bit more distant and not so active on like the group chats and shit.
Yeah.
But like I know a lot of their parents, and,
Damn. Okay.
like I know
Super close.
Yeah, like super close.
Yeah, that's tight.
They're a really great group of people that like are critical but very supportive in the same way. So it's like a really good dynamic of artists, and
Okay.
I feel like that's why collectively as a crew we're a really strong crew. So
Yeah.
we have a good foundation in friendship.
Yeah.
And then we also have like a creative output that's really healthy, and that we also like give healthy criticism to each other. You know
That's
what I
good.
mean? Like
Yeah.
change this up, do this, and there's not like like I notice like
No ego.
some people get really turned off by that.
Yeah.
They're like, especially when they're like not as good. They're like,
Well,
and
yeah.
I've done it,
Yeah.
and I did it in the
No,
past
for
too.
sure.
But
No,
like
for
you know,
sure.
people are like, don't fucking tell me what to do.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. I mean, that's,
No, dude, listen.
yeah.
Listen. You
Yeah.
know,
Someone's giving you a tip for a reason, you
Yeah.
know? And even if it's like
yeah.
fresh eyes.
If it's somebody you trust and is your friend, and they're
Yeah.
telling you that,
Yeah.
they're not telling you most likely to be a dick.
No, they're not
Unless
doing it to
they're a
hurt
dick.
you. Yeah, right, exactly.
You know?
Then they shouldn't be your friend, but
Yeah.
that's a whole nother conversation.
yeah.
That's cool.
So we have a really good foundation as a crew, and just like so much history
Yeah.
coming into play, and
Yeah.
I'm technically the only one who's from the West Coast in either of those crews.
Oh, okay.
They're both East Coast crews.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then YME.
Bring it just a little bit.
Yeah, YME 2014. I think I got put down. Ick had come out, and
Okay.
and we had hung out before and chilled, and we get along super good. We're good friends.
Was that that wall in Oakland? How long ago was that? There's
No, that was years before. That was like 2007.
okay, because I think it's like a blue fill.
Red background.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because I just remember seeing that, and I remember commenting. I think it was me, at least. Or I just remember the comment. I don't know if I wrote it, but anyways, it was like, "Oh, that's an interesting looking train."
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
'cause
yeah.
it was a wall,
yeah. That's fine.
You know, and I was like, "Yeah, you don't see ick on a wall."
Yeah, he actually paints them quite a bit.
Okay.
He's done some really cool shit. Like he did.
I mean, obviously not here local. Maybe probably a lot
Yeah.
closer to where he's at. But
I mean,
like,
he obviously doesn't give a shit about walls. Really.
yeah.
I mean, he's we could do a whole nother podcast on him. He's
Yeah.
he's a fucking anomaly, but
Yeah.
super good friend of mine, and he put me in YME,
Okay.
and it was actually kind of a cool story because like
Yeah, I've seen some of your guys' freights together.
we painted this freight together,
Mm-hmm.
and he has this very like dry monotone voice, like
Yeah.
"Arr," you know,
Yeah.
and he walks over to me, and I was done already, and he goes, "You're missing something," and I'm like, "What?"
He wouldn't tell you.
And he's like, "Put a YME next to your piece," you know.
Oh, sick.
I was like, "Cool, all right, sounds good."
Yeah, that's tight.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
tight. Yeah, I enjoyed his interview on Rolling Thunder.
yeah. No,
It's pretty cool.
He's a cool.
Did you hear that podcast? I don't mean to come off like a hater, but I'm trying to remember who he did it with. But he did a podcast where he typed his podcast.
I'm not surprised.
Okay. Well, yeah, it was just it was
That's something he would do.
Yeah, so the person was like asking him questions, and then he would type it, and then the voice would speak for him, and it was just like a very hard computer slow voice to like really. It was hard to stay in tune with the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, he's very like concerned about surveillance and stuff like this.
No, I'm not hating on it at all.
He's a real anomaly, and there's a lot that plays into this. It's
Yeah.
not even on some like I'm a master criminal thing.
Yeah.
His mind works a very specific way.
For sure.
He has a form of autism.
Yeah. Asperger's, or
Asperger's,
yeah, I remember
right.
him talking about
Like
it in an interview.
Dude, he's amazing. Like I said, we could talk about him forever, but like this dude draws fucking topographical maps of his spots.
Sick.
I don't even know how. He doesn't have a drone. He just
Sick.
draws a map of it. You know, he's a maniac.
I have respect for
He
people
has
like
this
that.
click thing. He remembers every one of the reporting numbers of all of the freights he's ever painted, and he has this weird voice click thing that helps him remember it.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fire.
Yeah. And
I
he's
got
al-
respect for people like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just like my mind clearly doesn't work like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
You know, if it wasn't for Google's geo for me to like drop a pin and save it,
Yeah.
I'd forget like 95% of the
Yeah.
spots I've been to.
Yeah. I mean, that guy, they could make an amazing documentary about him
Mm-hmm.
and never talk about graffiti.
That's tight.
And you would be like enthralled and interested in this documentary. He is by far one of the most interesting people I've ever met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And he drives me fucking crazy.
That's what's up.
Shout out Ick.
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Ichabod One or the God.
Yeah. If you start a movie, you have to finish it.
Word.
Yeah. That's his rule.
Okay. Yeah, that's fucking sick.
Yeah.
That's a good one. You know what's funny is actually that, I don't know, maybe not to say that I have Asperger's,
You got a
but
little tism?
dude, oh my God. All right, this is how I know we're gonna be homies. Like straight up, like, okay, so I have ADHD.
Okay.
Right? Like it can be very bad sometimes.
Yep.
It's a very hard, difficult thing. Specifically with like Tenchi, my lady, you know, she's just a smart person. She's just, she gets it. You know what I'm saying? I am not, you know, and I'm okay with that, right?
Yeah.
I'm used to being my stupid self.
Yeah.
It's been a little difficult sometimes, you know, because obviously she's just like, why don't you remember that? I'm like, and she's and, you know, and so she'll send me fucking Instagram and TikTok articles on ADHD being on the spectrum of like autism and this and that. And so then I'll really get into something, you know, and I'll super dive into it and I'll start like researching all this shit, you know, and she's like, that's your tism right there.
Yeah, is she being helpful or is she roasting you?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah, she's, you know,
I think
she's
it's probably leaning towards roasting at this point.
dude, I will say living with her, you know what I'm saying? Like that's my fucking wife, bro. And I'll tell you right now, my roasting capabilities have gone through the roof.
That's good.
Because all we do is just roast each other. And most of the time her friends are like, you're a fucking bitch, bro. Like you're hella brutal to them. Like how the fuck? And she's like, yeah, it's just how, you know, but we've been like that with each other for like the last decade.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, I married my best friend.
No, yeah, that's super
You know?
healthy.
Yeah. So, but that's funny. You say a little tisms because she always does that. She's like, yeah, that's that tism, you know? And I'm at this point, I'm like, yeah, it is my tism,
We could all be on the spectrum.
you know? But, fuck, what were we talking about right
You
now?
got to come up with some good ones, like make a love on the spectrum joke about being with her. Put it back on her.
Oh my God. Yeah, for sure. We were just talking about this before. There's a reason why I brought up the tism, but you see, that's my ADHD. You distracted me with the tism, and I totally laughed at the idea that we call it tism.
We were talking about how I got in those crews.
Yeah, but we were talking about Ichabod, and then we were talking about Ichabod. Oh, he said when you start a movie, you finish it.
Yeah.
Okay, so my rule is if I start a movie and they come out with a sequel, a third, a prequel, I have to see it.
Okay.
It drives me fucking
Even
nuts.
if it sucks?
Even if it sucks.
Okay.
I will see every single fucking thing. I don't know what it is. People are going to hate me, but can't stand Harry Potter, can't stand Lord of the Rings. I sat through all of them.
You've seen them all.
I've even seen the director's cuts.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't do that. I don't do that.
That's fair.
With shows, like with TV like series, if it doesn't, that's why I love like this new access to all this content, and I'll watch shows that I never watched because I couldn't. I lost interest during that like season break.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I remember I got super into that Dexter show years ago when it was like on TV. Or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
And then there was like this massive break.
Yeah. And you're like, fuck it.
I never watched it again.
Yeah. And then
I don't know what happened.
You saw it recently?
No.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Oh.
No. But I just rewatched like The Wire.
Okay. Yeah.
My girl and I right now, this is super funny. We're watching Survivor. We're on season 5. We started season 1 a month and a half ago.
Oh my God.
So we're just plowing through Survivor, dude.
Oh, it's like such trash TV.
Oh, I love trash TV. Dude.
Yeah.
1,000-Pound Sisters, all that kind of crap.
My sister recently discovered Jersey Shore.
Okay.
You know, she's way younger than me, and she's just like, yo, did you see Jersey Shore? And I was like, I saw that shit when it came out. And I love Jersey Shore. It is...
I never watched it.
Dude, if you like
I know
trash
the characters.
TV, it is the trashiest fucking TV.
Dude, My
You
Strange
can get.
Addiction, all that kind of shit.
Oh,
I love that stuff.
yeah. We were actually just watching Hoarders recently.
Hoarders is depressing, though.
Made
Hoarders...
me feel like a fucking dick.
No, but no. The reason I think Hoarders is depressing is because I had a job in San Francisco for years in these SROs.
Okay.
And there was this one specific building that was called 642 Jones Women's Hotel.
Okay.
Is what it was. And like during World War II, it became a hotel specifically for women.
Okay.
And then until like 2004, it was only women who lived in the building.
Okay.
And it was all these old spinsters from San Francisco that basically lived like tender knob or whatever they call it.
Oh, okay.
And these ladies were locked into studio apartments, basically downtown, $300 a month.
Holy shit.
Okay? And there were all these fucking ladies that were hoarders.
Fuck.
Just because they were like, they became like older, depressed spinster ladies.
Yeah. But you have an exposure to it.
Oh, yeah. No, dude.
I mean, it is pretty depressing to see hoarders, but I don't know. Sometimes I'll watch them just like, what the fuck?
So the way that we found it, I know this has nothing to do with graffiti, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, we definitely went in on a tangent.
But I have to tell the story because it's disgusting. So this specific building had a bed bug outbreak.
Oh,
and we were trying to figure out what was going on.
Which one was it?
So it was this lady who was on the first floor. We had gone through all these other apartments. This lady never answered us. Okay. Finally, we like gave her a notice that we needed to inspect the place, right?
Sure.
And it's this like sweet middle-aged lady, like very meek, tiny little lady.
Yeah.
Who, you know, you'd walk by her in the hallway and she'd go like, hello, hi.
Yeah.
See you later.
Yeah.
She looked very clean, totally normal person.
Infested.
Oh, dude. First floor. There's like a stairway up into the first floor. She's at the very back. We go and open the door. Mm-hmm. Lights are off. She fucking turned the lights on. The entire room starts moving with cockroaches, by the way. Like thousands of them. The entire room is filled with garbage. 4 feet. 4 feet of garbage. She has the sprinkler system pipes.
Yeah.
She has like 5 outfits that she has hung up on hangers on the pipes. She has like a yoga mat on the ground surrounded by garbage that she's sleeping in. No toilet. Shitting in bags, peeing in bottles. The entire room's disgusting. She opened up the door. I take one look at this and I run out. I felt so bad for her. I ran out the door and I just barfed everywhere. I had to help clean this up.
Oh my God.
It's disgusting.
Damn.
So yeah, Hoarders is sad.
Okay, well.
Because it's like...
You just ruined that show for me.
I still watch it. It's just depressing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fucking... Yeah, that's rough, man. Fucking A. Like,
yeah.
All right, well, that changes my fucking view on Hoarders. I'm going to watch something else tonight.
Graffiti Hoarders.
Graffiti Hoarders. Jeez, oh, God,
I'm a little bit of one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, dude. I mean, you can see my balcony from here. You know how many rusty Montanas that don't even work that I just fucking stab on the side and try to get like a background on a fucking sign painting piece?
Yeah.
That's me all day.
I told you I work for a paint company, and my old roommate used to work for 1AM doing like a lot of the murals and shit for them.
Yeah.
And so shitloads of paint.
Yeah.
Right? And I had this outdoor shed. There was probably 500 cans of paint in there. Most of them are like scrap cans. They were purchased for jobs and shit like this. And I recently got rid of all of them because they were starting to get older.
Yeah.
And I let these younger kids come by and get it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're in their 20s or something.
Yeah.
And they're like, "You're really giving this to us?" And I was like, "Yeah.
Yeah.
Take it." They were fucking blown away.
Yeah, I bet.
And I was like, "Because I can't do this."
Yeah. Not only that, but probably some of those valves don't even work.
Yeah. I warned them.
Yeah, yeah.
I warned them.
I mean, that's why you bring a knife, you pop the side,
Yeah.
get the little background.
Yeah.
You know, do a quick color black.
Yeah.
And pop a can and make a little galaxy fill.
Yeah.
Hit it with a nice white resto for the outline. Got yourself a piece.
One of them was that jazz man.
Oh yeah.
He's
Yeah,
killing
shout
it.
out Jazzman, dude. I fucking love that kid.
And I made sure to tell him, right? Because he's super active and doing like street shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, just make sure you test this before you go out. Like, don't climb on one of these.
Yeah, you're gonna be in a fucking
rooftops.
billboard and shit, and all of a sudden the nozzle doesn't
You got
work.
some fucking shitty can that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Don't blame me.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah.
Yeah, Jazzman gets it, dude. Shout out
yeah,
him.
that kid's killing it.
Yeah, he really is. Fucking A.
Those type of spots were never for me.
Yeah.
Nah.
No.
Not a good climber.
Even when you were a twig.
Even when I was a twig. I
Yeah.
actually just broke my elbow like 5 weeks ago.
Okay.
Painting solo.
How'd you do that?
You
You don't have a cat 5 weeks ago?
No, because I broke the very tip of it.
Oh, okay.
So they don't put it in a cast.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. But it
Okay.
slammed into my ribs. My ribs hurt way worse than my elbow.
Fuck.
Hurt. But I was climbing a fence.
Okay.
It had a few
You had a few in you?
had a few beers.
All right.
It was during like
Some
kind
high
of
points?
It was during like kind of that rainstorm type stuff.
Okay.
And I climbed this fence and I just like second guessed. It was one of those like wrought iron fences with the spikes at the top.
All right.
Okay, so I just kind of like second guessed it a little bit,
You
and I was
definitely
like,
had some few in you.
yeah, I was like, I can like twist around it and get down, and then like while I was trying to do that, it like wasn't looking like that was gonna work out so well for me.
Okay.
So I decided it was a good idea to jump from the top. It's like 6 feet up in the air. My foot slipped, and it was like a fucking cartoon, man. I went sideways.
Oh.
Fell directly onto my elbow.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
slammed into my ribs.
Yeah.
I landed in a gravel puddle. It knocked the wind out of me. I laid face down in a puddle for like 2 minutes. Drug myself up on this little concrete thing, then laid there for like 10 minutes.
You had to collect yourself for a
I
little
had
bit.
to collect myself.
God damn.
Then I was trying to paint trains. So I walked down to these trains.
So
and-
you're still down to paint after this fucking massive... I would have been
Oh,
like, I'm going home.
Oh, dude, I'm fucking already in here. I'm going to do this. So I hobble down, and I put my bag on one side of the line, and I'm looking for, like, the best panel.
Yeah.
And I'm all, like, delirious. I would never put my bag down like that. I would
Yeah.
always keep it with me. And so I, like, walk to the other side of the line. I think there's, like, 4 or 5 cars. It's a pretty active yard, so the engine shows up while I'm on the other side. So I have to fucking hobble, run to the other side, grab the bag, fucking let him pull up, sneak out the back. And then I like go back to where I'm at, and I'm like, oh, I can't climb back over the fence. My arm's all fucked up.
Yeah.
So then I had to walk hell far down the tracks
Yeah.
in East Oakland. I fucking sat down, had my last beer from the bag. I'm sitting in the grass. It was like a full moon.
The moon is full. Look at the dark clouds.
And I was just sitting in the grass all drunk, looking at the moon, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? I'm like hurting
man,
so
you had
bad.
One of those.
Yeah, I had one
You
of
had
those.
to like, rethink your life.
I had to rethink my life. And then out of nowhere, this fucking skunk shows up, walking over me, and I was like, you
Bro.
motherfucker, stay away.
Please.
I did
you-
not get sprayed by the
Oh,
skunk.
I was about to say,
But I
dude,
yelled at
like
it,
that's
yeah.
like that's I'm literally thinking about what I'm gonna do to change my life in that scenario.
Yeah, no, I went home, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing?
Did you
with
hop
my
into your
life?
bathtub?
No, I didn't. I was fucking hurting. dude.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
The next day I was hurting. I went to the emergency room because my chest hurt so bad.
Oh yeah.
And they were like, you're fine. You broke your elbow, but it's like a kind of break you don't.
Walk it off, pussy.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. So
Yeah. That sucks.
that's my most recent embarrassing graffiti story.
Yeah, that's fire.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's my first bone broken ever too.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. I've never broken anything. The worst thing that ever happened to me, I was 17, and my mom wanted me to return a video at Hollywood Video.
Okay.
And so I was like, all right, cool. And we lived at the top of a hill. So I was like, and every single fucking day I would bomb this hill.
Yeah.
I could bomb a hill every day of the week. So it's like when you see that, like, not to like toot my own horn, I'm not that one of these guys, but like, you know, like the when they bomb the hills over by Dolores Park and shit, I'm like, in my heyday, bro, all day.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So anyways, I'm bombing this hill, thinking nothing of it. Got the Hollywood Video DVD in my back pocket, you know, it's Jenko jeans kind of day.
Yeah.
And I catch an acorn, bro, and I just fucking Superman fly for 10 feet. I have to be going like 20 miles per hour on a skateboard.
Yeah.
And dude, I'm flying.
Yeah.
Boom, smack right into the cement, dude, and that was a wrap. I
fucked your shit up.
Oh yeah, the AC separation level 2.
Damn.
I like tore a ligament. I loosened the cuff. My shit was just bad, dude. Like I and you know the fucked up part. This is I actually remember the year. It was 2001.
Okay.
Because I couldn't have been 17 then. Must have been younger. Anyways, yeah, because I'm like, dude, I graduated fucking 05. So I was way younger than my timeline's fucked up. Anyways, I'm sitting there, I'm laying, bro. I'm in the worst pain. And I'm still in the middle of the hill. So I see my skateboard go all the way down. I mean, at this point, it's like 3 blocks away from me. And I just see it going down. I'm like, you motherfucker. But I don't give a fuck. Last thing I care about is that skateboard. Yeah. Dude, like 5 cars just drove past me, just looked at me and just like left me. And it wasn't until like this little Mexican dude came out of nowhere. Oh, and so this was on my right arm. Smack the shit out of the mic. This is on my right arm. So I reach over. I always keep my cell phone on my right pocket. So I reach over to my left hand. I'm like stretching, and it's like absolutely painful. I get my cell phone. It's Metro PCS when like just came out. Yeah. And I go for the call, and I have no signal.
Oh no.
And so fucking this little Mexican dude, he's like, "¿Qué te pasó?" You know, like what happened? What happened? And I'm just like, "Fuck, dude, like I'm broken." You know, like what cell phone service do you have? He looked at me like, what the fuck are you asking me that? He's like, Sprint. And I'm like, let me get your fucking phone. Yeah. And I call my mom, and she's like, what happened? I'm like, you need to take me to the emergency, dude. I am fucked. Yeah. And she's just like, I'm doing laundry right now. Yeah. I'm like, yo, like, I'm broken. She's like, all right, I'm going to come get you as soon as I'm done. And so it's like, this guy helps me up. I sit in the back of his van, and like, he's got to be like 30. And his mom's in the van, and she's just cussing me up and down in Spanish.
About what? Just being a dumbass?
Yeah, just straight up, you know. Latino people, it don't matter. It's like if you're, you know, it's just they look at you, you're instantly part of the family. Yeah. And so you're just, it's just the community of just like yelling at younger people. So he's just like, you know, she's just yelling, pendejo, ¿para qué hiciste? You know, just like all that. And I'm just sitting there like, I'm not
riding that fucking stupid thing.
Yeah. You know, pinche patineta. That's what skateboard in Spanish. And she's just like, I'm like, bro, I don't need this from you right now. But you know, she's the OG. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm in her van. Yeah. So I just sat there and just took it for like 45 minutes. My mom comes like 45 minutes later.
She does the same thing.
Huh? Well, yeah, of course. I mean, it's my mom. Now she's gonna really rag on me the entire way over to the fucking hospital, the entire time in the emergency room, the entire time after, right? But I'm sitting there, I'm like, why did it take you 45 minutes? She goes, I told you I was doing laundry. And I was like, okay, well, it couldn't have taken that long. She's like, well, I had to go back to the house. I had to drop it and fold everything. And I was just like, dude, are you serious? And she's just like, fuck you. You learned your lesson today.
She left you for dead.
Yeah, she's like, that's your problem. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You made your bed. Fucking lay in it.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, that's just, you know, Latino lifestyle. Yeah. I think that's I mean, it could be any community of people. But, yeah, my mom definitely... She fucking ragged on me. And then, yeah, I was in a fucking, not like a cast, but like a swing. Like it wasn't like, I wasn't in a cast where I couldn't move, but it was like you know, to stabilize my arm so I wouldn't move. It kind of had like a joint system or whatever. And and then they gave me fucking hydrocodone. And I was just high as fuck for like 6 months. Yeah. It was a good time.
Not me, I'm allergic to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Like straight up gives me like a rash and I can't breathe.
Oh. That sucks.
I learned that
the hard way.
The hard way. Yeah.
Yeah. Word. Well, hey, like we were talking about earlier, in Japan, you can get codeine right over the counter.
Yeah.
Pour up a deuce.
for a cold.
Yeah.
Let me get some.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. They're not too hip to the pouring up a deuce.
No, they're not.
Not in Japan, at least. Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
Damn. So how did you find out? Did you pour up a deuce and all of a sudden you were like,
Oh no, I had like
got the Sprites and Jolly Ranchers, and all of a sudden you were like, this ain't hitting right.
No. I had, this is turning into an old man podcast.
Yes.
I had pulled my sciatic nerve,
Not me dealing with that all the time.
and I had gone to the doctor, and
Yeah.
they gave me, hydrocodone or
Sure.
whatever it was, and I took some of it, and I was just like laid up in bed and couldn't really move, and then I looked at my skin, and I was like, I got a fucking rash all over my body, and then I started breathing all weird.
Oh, man.
And so I had to like crawl off my bed, fall, like the saddest shit, just like fall on the floor. I lived with my cousin at the time.
Yeah.
I like dragged myself into the middle hallway, and I was like,
Help.
help. And he comes out, he's like, what the fuck are you doing?
That's fire.
Yeah. And then I went to the same emergency room I had gone that gave me the shit. And I was like, you gave me this and I was allergic to it. And they were like, oh, sorry. They gave me like some Benadryl or something. And then we're just like, I guess you can't have that. So
Well.
so
good times.
now I don't ever get it.
Yeah.
But it's not the worst thing to be allergic to,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause you can have too much fun with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Word, man. Fucking, I was like, I feel like, we covered a lot. Unless there's anything else you want to talk about. Any of those questions that, of course, my Face ID. Okay, here we go. Yeah, we touched base on that. Here's a good one. How have you seen the culture change from when you started?
I think the obvious change is the access to content, right?
Okay, yeah.
That's definitely the biggest change.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is really good. And
The double-edged sword.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. Like, I think it's made people advance very quickly, the access to all the content from the internet.
Yeah.
Which is a really great thing, and it helps push a lot of pushes a lot of people to try new things and try different styles and and learn different tips and techniques. Obviously there's some fucking goofy shit that goes on because of social media.
Yeah.
I think the biggest downside of it to me is it kind of killed the regional style.
Oh, yeah.
Which I thought was a really important piece of American graffiti. Because you were so kind of... Which also, like... It's hard to say, right? There's probably good things that came from that as well.
Sure.
But I thought it was very important to have those regional styles and people to carry on and add to those traditional styles.
Yeah.
And do their own take on it and stuff like that. And I think, there's a lot of people who paint a very generic style now that is like very attainable in their early years.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that really breeds like a strong graffiti writer, because
that's an interesting take.
Like one of the big things that I got from being fucking terrible for years was that I was really passionate about this thing to stick with it.
Yeah.
To have people think you suck.
Yeah.
To have no followers. To hear people talk shit about you or get gone over.
And change that into motivation.
Have no context. Well, you really have to stick with it.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to enter generations of, writers that are going to have really quick turnover.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's already here, to be honest with you. I mean, it's funny, and I'm not saying I'm good at all, but I'm fairly confident with my letters that I'm doing now. I'm happy with the graffiti I'm at now, just for myself, my own personal goals.
Yeah.
And I remember coming up and so many people were like, you fucking suck.
Yeah.
You should stop, you know? And like, you know, just fucking years later, I'm like, you fell off like years ago. You don't even fucking paint anymore.
Yeah.
And now I'm better than you.
Yep.
And it feels fucking great.
Yeah.
You know, but I you know, at the time, you know, I looked at these people and I'm just like, dude, you're so good, but they're nowhere now.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the evolution of the graffiti subculture, I think, could probably be compared to, say, skateboarding. I'm sure, like, because a lot of my friends skateboarded when I was young.
Yeah.
You know, they were few and far between.
Yeah.
At that time.
Yeah.
And now I'm sure there's way more young kid skateboarders because there's access to be inspired to do that.
Sure.
It's become like a lifestyle thing.
Yeah.
But I think it does make it harder to kind of delineate who is the kind of diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
At a very early stage.
Yeah.
You know, because
it's like the level of skateboarding nowadays is so insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Same with graffiti.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Like a lot of young people started bombing. I mean, a lot of these young kids in Oakland are doing crazy shit that I never did.
Yeah.
We didn't need to go on an extendo ladder above a throw up because there was room. There was nobody doing it.
Right.
You know, and now these kids are pushing each other. So that's also a really cool thing. And listen, I don't want to be an old salty gatekeeper or anything. Like, even graffiti's a hobby, right? So like, you could do it for 4 years and get over it. I have plenty of friends who did that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that I think it's more prevalent. It's grown the amount of people who paint graffiti. Yeah. And a lot of them won't be there for the long haul.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
Like I said, but you know, I think it makes it hard to really figure out like who's going to be the shit early on. Yeah. Because there is like there's an accelerated period where people get good now. Yeah. And by good I mean like pretty decent. Where you're like those are good letters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. They got some techniques down. They're doing all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's definitely become more of a. I think the more I've spent with graffiti, and it's not like I have that long in graffiti, but like even just the last decade, paying attention to graffiti, it's like now when someone comes up and they're like, oh yeah, they're killing it, I'm like, yeah, we'll see what they're doing next year.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's why when we talked about it earlier, I think if you want to have longevity in graffiti, you got to try and be well-rounded. So that you can pivot with the different points in your life. And,
sure.
You know, I mean, if you think about it, like, living in Oakland, like, way before my time of living there, I'm sure any of the older dudes that live there could tell you a handful of different writers over the years that went all city and fucking killed it. Mm-hmm. That nobody
remembers now.
Remembers outside of their generation. Yeah. But every one of these kids knows who Dream is. Yeah. Because he had style and he was fucking sick.
It's a great example, actually.
And it's like, but then again, like, depends what kind of graffiti you want to do. Some people are in it for the fast lifestyle and the fun and the partying, and more power to you. I'm not hating on it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so much shit has changed. I mean, we already talked about the supplies have changed, obviously.
Yeah.
We're the, our generation, younger generations, we're the beneficiaries of people, developing fucking fancy tools for us to use. Yeah. It's like so much crazy. It's like so crazy all the access we have. Yeah. Even you're such a huge fan of Quick Color. I mean, sponsor him.
Yeah. Dude. Oh, man, I'd love to get a Quick Color. I think Resto actually makes them.
Yeah. But, I mean, there's so much access to products. And now it's, like, gotten to a point where it's so, like, fucking insane. All these, like, glued together caps and shit that people are making that make, like,
oh, dude, I reached out to Fade Bomb. You follow Fade Bomb JP?
I don't, but I've seen it.
Yeah. They do the fucking, it'll be like 5 fat caps going in one adapter and shit, and they'll do these crazy things. I reached out to them, and they don't have a store in Japan, but they just deliver everywhere. Yeah. So they're like, oh, we'll deliver to your hotel. And I'm like, I want to go there and, like, hang out and talk and, like, shoot the shit, so.
Yeah. That page is the definition of the comment what cap did you use?
Yeah. Oh God, that cat doesn't matter, man.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, my arsenal is solely New York Fats and Legos.
Yeah.
That's it. And I can do a whole piece with just a New York Fat.
Yeah.
You know, but I prefer the Lego for the really skinny lines.
Yeah.
Recently, I started using that cream. It kind of looks like a Boston.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, it's not bad.
That's
I
nice.
started using it recently, and actually, you know, maybe I'll keep a couple of those around every
I
once
use
in a
those
while.
banana caps to outline.
Oh,
yellow
yeah,
ones.
the universal ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I did use those back in the day, but I feel like sometimes they're too easy to clog.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so as a result, I'm just kind of like,
We
man.
just got so many of them now. You just throw them.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need your water bottle with
Dude,
acetone in it.
yeah, for real. I mean, you can kind of see we have a guest bowl with caps.
Oh, nice.
So we have people come over and like, let me steal a cap. I'm like, yeah, grab a handful.
Yeah,
We
sure.
buy them by bags.
Yeah,
So it's like, who cares?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Caps are cool. I mean, but
Yeah.
it's just a different world, you know. I still take fucking granite cleaner. If I'm at Home Depot and I'm walking by and I see a granite cleaner, it works great on a resto.
Yeah. Just
You
take
know?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like nowadays, dude, fucking Gucci paint is cheaper than resto.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Never thought that would happen. Unless you go to fucking Michael's and it's like ridiculous, like $12 a can.
It's
but
raw materials.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, because I mean, even Quick Color now is $2.48.
A lot of businesses, right? They
Yeah.
used COVID as a way to jack up the price.
Yeah,
and stuff.
for sure. But I mean, fuck, dude. I definitely remember the days of like,
Yeah.
you know, spending fucking $6.
Yeah. And those stores like Michael's, that's not the retailer setting, or that's the retailer setting the price, not the paint company.
Yeah, for sure. No,
The
for
reason why Michael's is so expensive is because of those coupons
sure. Yeah,
that they put out. They put out the 50
Dude.
off coupon.
dude.
So they mark everything up above MSRP.
But it sucks because you can only use it for on one item,
Yeah.
you know? But yeah,
So it doesn't work for paint. But
yeah.
most people in a Michael's that are trying to paint a birdhouse don't need more than one paint.
Yeah,
can of
you're
paint.
right, absolutely. But yeah, every time I go to Michael's, first thing I do, store coupon.
Yeah.
And instantly, you'll get usually 40% off of everything.
I hate Michael's.
I use a lot of resin.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, I fucking go through gallons of resin.
Yeah.
So it's like it's either getting 40% off at Michael's or spending, you know,
Yeah.
having to go for like a industrial discount.
Yeah.
But I don't need to buy that much fucking resin.
Yeah, I don't tend to find anything I need in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not my favorite store.
Yeah, I feel it. Fuck Michael's every day of the week.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else has changed for young people.
Let me know if the volume's too high. You can always adjust it on the board.
No, it's good. My ear is sweating.
Oh.
I don't know. I think so much shit has changed.
Yeah.
So much stuff.
Yeah.
I think, hot take, and all you Americans can get mad at me, but we're being lapped by Europeans.
Oh.
Stylistically, 100%.
I'm not mad at that. I think right now this whole anti-style movement.
Yeah. We're gonna go anti-style right now.
I mean, we don't have to. It's just
No. We can. I have my take on that.
Please go ahead.
I have my take on that.
You know, I totally feel you, man. European graffiti is dope. I've been to Paris. Well, I should say France because I've been to Perpignan, but Barcelona, and went to Italy, Florence, and Milan. Mm-hmm. And seeing graffiti out there is just like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I do pay. It's expensive as shit, and I really have to save up. But I really want to go to Auckland, New Zealand.
Yeah.
Dude, that scene out there is sick.
Yeah, they're good.
You know, I'm just like, yo, you guys are doing some shit.
Yep.
You know, so yeah, I totally feel you, man. European graffiti. This is I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. Smo, Sme.
Mm-hmm.
I love his style.
Yeah.
So good. And then it's just his technical, the way he does, like, you know, characters and shit developed into it. And even just like his take on the iPad.
Yeah.
On Procreate. That's another thing, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking sketching on Procreate's changed my sketch game.
Yep.
1,000%.
Yeah. I mean, Yeah, they're really killing it over there, doing super creative stuff, pushing boundaries,
Yeah.
Developing new styles, things like that. Like
Yeah.
I definitely think they've had like a renaissance in the last, 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's been
Ahead,
very
ahead
inspiring.
of us. Like I think it started to slow down stylistically here a little bit
Yeah.
from a piecing standpoint, and just from the clean train shit. They're killing it.
Dude. Yeah.
They're killing it.
Clean trains.
Yeah, they're going for it.
I've been to Barcelona twice, and every time I go to the same train layup, it's like their main station.
Yeah.
And they're fucking destroyed. And I can easily go in there and flick like, 50, 60 cars. And I'm just like, dude, every single one is banging.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's Americans that are killing it on the system.
Oh, 100%.
Too,
But like, yeah. But I know what you're talking about,
Yeah.
Seeing what we see here in the Bay Area, which obviously we see on a daily basis, and then going over there and being like, damn, this shit is tight.
Yeah. I think I'm saying they're lapping us probably more from the standpoint like of piecing styles.
Yeah.
Like I think there's a lot more creative shit coming out of Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like really cool and kind of unique and different. I mean, I was in Germany and like painted one of these Hall of Fame spots, and there's like 17-year-old kids that you've never heard of that are painting like good pieces.
Yeah.
Let's not get carried away.
It's like when you play Call of Duty and like the 12-year-old kid just keeps fucking sniping you.
Just blasting my
And you're
head
just
off.
like, yo, fuck this kid. And yeah, I feel it.
I
but-
really liked my piece. I thought it was good.
All right, yeah. You got to show it to me.
Yeah.
And then you got to show me the 17-year-old and I'll give you judgment on
Yeah,
that.
right. He beat me up and stole my paint.
Oh, dude.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah. No, I think they're doing good. I think there's a lot of Americans doing cool shit. Don't get me wrong, but I think
I understand what you're saying.
They're ahead
for
of us.
Sure. Yeah, Europe's cool, man.
Yeah.
I definitely like going to Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to hit Germany and Netherlands soon. My cousin recently moved to the Netherlands.
Yeah.
And she's just like, yo, come visit. You got a spot to stay. Random. My cousin is Miss Guatemala. She like won the...
Nice.
Yeah, it's like random. I never thought in a million years she'd be fucking Miss Universe, Miss Guatemala.
Well, we can figure out who your family member is now.
No, it was hella long ago.
Oh, okay.
So it's not anytime recent.
Oh, okay.
It would be like, you'd have to know the specific year, which obviously I'm not going to say.
Yeah, that's good.
But, yeah, she's
you don't
fucking...
want your DMs filled with photos of your cousin
Dude.
asking questions.
What's up with her, Brad?
Yeah, what's up with her?
Yeah, fuck all you little pervy motherfuckers that have been thinking about this right now.
Yeah.
Go check out fucking Miss Guatemala for the last fucking 15 years or some shit like that.
If you're listening to this, guess which year it is and send him a photo.
Oh, that would be fire. I'm still going to say no to every single one, though.
Yeah.
I'd be like, nah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, she's out there, and she's like, dude, graffiti out here is super cool. You should come out here and paint. And,
Yeah.
You know? I mean, she doesn't know shit about graffiti. She just knows
Yeah.
what I post on my Facebook.
Yeah.
Because, it's like, I mean, at this point, it's like, I'm not hiding anything.
Yeah,
I
sure.
don't give a flying fuck.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, you could go on... Everyone that fucking follows me probably knows what I look like anymore.
Yeah.
I just don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, I got my homies that are fucking rap artists with their graffiti pieces behind them, full face, and they're way more active than I am.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, all right, fool. If you're like
Yeah.
this, I don't give a fuck then. But yeah. So she sees my pieces on Facebook, and she's just like, you should come and paint here. It'd be so nice. And I'm like, yeah, I want to do that.
You haven't done it.
Netherlands? No.
Oh, the Netherlands. I thought we were talking about Guatemala.
No. I've been to Guatemala a shit ton as a kid, but never in my adult life.
Okay.
And so I'm actually might go in October.
That's cool.
Yeah, I gotta reach out to Slep and Zaps. They were there, I believe, last year.
Nice.
They painted some sick ass spots, and so I want to hit them up
Sick.
and be like, "Yo, shoot me the connection."
Yeah.
I do follow some Guatemalan writers. TKO is really big out there.
Yeah.
And so I gotta hit them up randomly.
You can get down.
Get with TKO.
Yeah, you can get in TKO.
They're a
and
little
Guatemala
gangster. I mean, I don't know. I think I'm too soft for TKO personally.
shit. Yeah.
But randomly, I saw a picture of my stickers on some titties a couple years ago, and then like it was like when you post like multiple pictures, so it was like my sticker. Well, it was me and Odom, right? And my crewmate Odom.
Yep.
And he's killing it now, man. He's fucking doing it in Oakland right now. But anyways, yeah, me and Odom did a collab sticker, and all of a sudden I just see some titties with both our stickers on there, and the next one is our stickers in a bunch of black books. And I look at the hashtags, and it's like Guatemalan graffiti or Guatemalan, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I click on the profile, and I'm like, where did you get this sticker? And he goes, oh, I was visiting Oakland last year, and I bumped into this guy, and he gave me all these stickers, so I decided to take pictures of them on my girl's titties and in my black book. And I'm like, are you fucking... And so I hit up Odom, and I'm like, yo, do you see this? He goes, oh yeah, I met that dude at a bar, and I gave him a bunch of our stickers, and I was like, fire. So maybe so we followed each other for the last, like, God, that was so long ago. We weren't even UGS yet, so I got put down in 2015. So this, like 2014. Dude, it's like I've been following this kid for like 10 years. Yeah. Well, just under, but like, yeah, I should hit him up and be like, yo, I'm gonna come to Guatemala, we should paint.
Let's put some stickers on titties.
Yeah.
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 That's crazy. It was his girl?
Yeah.
That's a wild thing to do. That's a wild thing
UGS, bro. Your girl swallows.
Yeah. Oh, sheesh.
Your girl's side partner.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Up girls' skirts. Ugly girls swallow.
See, Saved by Satan wasn't so bad.
No. Saved by Satan is fire, bro.
Yeah.
You got to think of like some raunchy ass ones for like TGE.
Oh, we got tons.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things to do. Is someone gives me a crew or whatever, and I'll start thinking about the most disgusting shit that I can possibly think of. You know?
Yeah.
And that's my shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a disgusting person secretly.
It's okay. Me too. I have a raunchy sense of humor. So.
Yeah, I love that shit too.
Yeah.
That's why I brought up Super Duper Humble, because I'm like, yo, that very lines up with my sense of humor.
Yeah.
The fucked up shit that they talk about there, I'm like, that's fire.
Yeah. I'll check it out for sure.
Yeah. I'll send you some disgusting shit. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta do a side podcast where we just do like graffiti writers talking about some disgusting fetish shit.
Yeah. Dude, my friend.
You're like, I'll come back for another episode.
I have a friend who could do this. I don't want to stolen valor his story, but let's just say it involves the train tracks. A like 450-pound naked woman and a dwarf feeding her pizza on a mattress on the side of the train tracks in Richmond.
That's hot.
Some of my coolest like.
That's hot.
Some of my coolest like graffiti like weird interactions happened in Richmond.
Richmond's a very interesting town. I mean, you got. I'm pretty sure it's Richmond, but they have like the Chevron plant.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like there's people that literally get paid by the government because they've been exposed to radiation, and like statistically, like Richmond has more shorter people because of the radiation and gas exposure that they've had.
Damn.
You know some fucked up shit like that or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and they kind of try to hush money.
Yeah.
Keep it under the table for the fucked up shit from that plant.
Richmond's wild, man.
Yeah, Richmond's tight.
I had a Debble.
Yeah.
Who
shout out Debble. Yeah.
Shout out Debble.
Yeah.
He was one of the first writers I met from Richmond. I remember going out there and chilling with him.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. I've met him a few times.
And we would go places, and I think he might have been with us. This is one of the really funny stories. And there's a spot, Three Creeks.
Yeah.
It's in Richmond, right?
Yeah.
It's behind these stores, and this is like 2005 or 6.
Yeah.
We were going to paint Three Creeks.
Yeah.
Me and another friend, I think Debble may have been with us, maybe not, I don't know. And we're walking, and there was like an encampment.
Yeah.
Some homeless people, and this homeless dude walked up to us,
and
he was a ways away from the tents where they were sleeping. And he's like, "Hey, are you the?" And he was a black dude. And he's like, "Are you guys cops?" And we were like, "No, we're not cops. Like, we're going to like paint this shit down here. Like, don't worry about it." Like I said, he was a ways away from the
tents.
The tents.
Sure.
And he was like, "Okay, cool." And then he turned his back to us towards the tents, and he said, "Caucasians coming." He did a Caucasian bird call back to the tents. It was one of the funniest things I had ever heard. And it was super loud. And it was, dude, it made my day. It made my day.
Oh, God, I wish I could hear that. I want to hear that. That's so
I want people to to pick that up and use that. I think that's great.
Yeah.
The Caucasian bird call, dude.
Yeah, dude. You know, white people come around, you gotta get scared.
Yeah, and I love that he asked if we were cops, and then when we said no, he just turned around and said Caucasians coming. It's pretty good.
Oh man, that's good. You were with Devil?
I believe we were. We might not have been. I mean, he definitely would have been part of that bird call. But
yeah, I was gonna say.
I think it was probably like Oscar or somebody like this.
That's so good.
It was really funny.
That's a pretty good story.
Yeah.
Have you been to Three Creeks recently?
No.
Okay.
Not for a while.
It's been there for a while now, but there's right at the beginning of Three Creeks, there's this fucking dope, like one of the people that were living in those tents, he grabbed and collected all of the paint, and he did this sick ass like fucking placazo, dude. It's just like Richmond with low rider, and it's like a fucking it's like a pyramid, I guess, but I think it's more like
it's made out of spray cans.
No, man, it's like the buff paint that people have left throughout the years.
I see.
It's just a sick ass fucking whole like Latino mural with, like I said, with low riders.
Oh, sick.
And it's just tight because, you know, it's like, it's Three Creeks, dude. It's so burnt. Everyone goes over everyone. It's just a practice spot.
Yeah.
No one's touched it. And it's
That's
been
cool.
years now. And I remember seeing him first do it, and he would do it in little bits. And he would be like, hey, tell everyone that, you know, don't go over my shit. I'm doing a mural. And I'd be like, yeah, I got you. And, you know, like, I never talked to anyone anyways. But still, through the times, like, no one would touch his shit. Now it's fully done. So if you ever go to Three Creeks, I mean, you'll see it first
I would
thing.
go there to check that out.
It's really cool. I got a picture of it somewhere on my Flickr.
Yeah.
People need to hop on Flickr. I was preaching about this last podcast, I think. I'm gonna preach about it again. Hop on Flickr. Fuck Instagram.
I lost my login
Man.
because I had a Yahoo or Hotmail or something.
Yeah. I feel like just make another one.
Well, no, I have an account, and like I had most of my photos because I told you I've always been terrible at documenting shit.
Yeah.
A lot of the photos that I do have,
It's not public.
they're not public, and they're locked on the fucking account.
You can't reach out to Flickr customer service.
No, I tried,
Yeah.
but I do have a friend who has access to the private photos because they were like,
they were like
he
your
was
friends.
like my close friends or whatever the fuck it was. So
Your
it's,
top 8.
it's basically just like my top 8. So it's basically just like I need him to go in and get the photos.
Yeah, you
for
go.
me.
Just
Or
screenshot
give me
everything.
access, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Screenshot all your shit just to save it.
Yeah.
Go on
Dude, I've had-
free prints and get them printed on the hard copies.
I've had terrible luck with that shit. Like,
Yeah.
So
I've unfortunately documented all my toy shit.
everything that I did, well, this is the benefit is I don't have any photos of the toy shit.
Yeah.
But the downside is like years and years of traveling and taking photos of graffiti that like I really loved.
Yeah.
I lost. I got this computer for free years ago when I was working that hotel job, and the fucking hard drive crashed, and they couldn't save anything.
Oh man!
And I was like too, like, you know,
yeah,
inept with computers to realize that I needed to back them up and shit.
Yeah.
So
I have like 3 hard drives, like 6 cards.
yeah,
I'm like, I actually just flicked you, Journey, and Mast on Erie.
with other.
Oh, it is Other. You're
Yeah,
right. It's
yeah.
not Journey. It was Other.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's you, Other, and Mast.
yeah.
Sorry.
We painted that day. That was a fun day.
Yeah.
MQ was down there painting.
Oh, he did the spot across the way, right?
No, he was doing this evade.
Oh, the big blockbuster.
Big blockbuster.
I did flick that. Yeah.
And a couple of his buddies were there helping him.
Okay. Yeah. Rest in peace, Ave, dude.
Yeah.
I actually have one of his little homemade zines. I got it like
That's cool.
because I've always followed Dave for forever.
Yeah.
And then when he posted that little zine, I think it might have been right around when Jade passed away.
Yeah.
He said that he's gonna do a small run, and I was like, I gotta get it,
Yeah.
And it's got like literally he like taped hard copies of Jade passed out like on a couch,
Yeah.
and like spray painted it. It's like
Yeah.
super handmade. It's like it's so cool to have that piece
Yeah.
of artwork. It's tight.
It's
Old Sace fucking throwies on it and
Yeah.
shit.
It's cool. See, that would like. That's why I wish I would have been better at documenting stuff because I had so much cool shit, and even like
Yeah.
the photos of friends and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
I'm really like envious at a lot of these young kids. I'll see they're really like documenting their like their 20s and their time where they're having fun.
Yeah.
Like I don't have any
Yeah.
photos of that shit. And we didn't have like a photo friend, you know?
Yeah.
Really. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, I got into photography early on, so it was kind of just went hand in
Yeah.
hand with what I was doing.
yeah.
And so I got really lucky documenting graffiti, and documentation really has become like a huge part of my life in general. So that's the whole reason why this podcast was started.
Yeah. Yeah. That
You
makes
know?
sense. I've been really good about collecting stuff.
Yeah.
Like if anyone was ever around sketching or drawing or anything
Let me
like
keep that.
I'll just keep it.
Yeah.
You know, just
That's sick.
and I have a lot of really cool shit.
That's dope.
Like good drawings,
Yeah.
sketchbook stuff, and like a lot of art. Like I've collected a lot of art.
Yeah.
You know, bought shit from people and
I've collected so much shit. Like, you should have seen before Tenchi moved in, dude. These walls were like, it looked like TGI Fridays. It was pretty like shenanigans.
Yeah.
You know. And so I just I took everything down. And I just have just a few pieces. You know,
Yeah.
just like the giant and musk. I got that animal. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like,
yeah,
you know, that animal, and you know, on that animal, it's a 228 for those that are listening. I think I talked about this on the podcast. His fingerprints on it.
oh, that's
He like
cool.
smudged it on accident. You know, he
that's
got
cool.
like, and I just think that's so cool. It's like his like biometric.
Yeah, that's cool.
You know, it's like a piece of him. You know, rest in peace, Smokey.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to collect stuff
Yeah.
like that, you know. And something else I would tell younger people: make sure you collect your friends' art. And
Yeah, because you never know.
yeah. I mean, it's nice to
Yeah,
go back on and reflect, and also like that's a form of documentation too, you know.
yeah,
Because you can I have a lot of sketches.
yeah,
Because I used to do a lot more like full color sketches. Because like when
Okay.
I first met Other, I was like totally inspired by these black
right,
books that
right,
he
yeah,
had.
yeah.
So I would do a lot of these like full page fucking
20 color prismas.
yeah,
Sick.
and I can connect those to like a lot of walls that I painted.
Oh, sick.
Right. So
Yeah,
or
test
like
your
even if
colors
it's
on a
like a
book.
shitty sketch, I can even connect a lot of those back to shit that I painted.
That's sick.
You know.
Yeah, a lot
Which
of
is really
blueprints. That's tight, man.
And those books, like I don't know if you've ever seen like a have a writer friend that's like a crazy book person, but like you see a good black book that's
Yeah.
like really well done.
Yeah,
That shit's fucking mind blowing, dude.
I got. You can't see it right here, but
Yeah.
right under the box that holds the microphones for the podcast. That's my black book from like 2013.
Yeah,
And I have like so many people
That's
on there
cool.
that like range from so many fucking different
Yeah.
things. Probably not the most organized
Yeah.
black book, you know, but it's like, yeah, it's one of my,
Yeah.
I call it the Bible.
yeah,
You know, it's like the only cool black book that I really have.
Yeah.
I kind of stopped caring after a while.
that's cool.
You know.
That guy Sweck SWS.
Oh yeah,
from
yeah,
Denver.
yeah, yeah.
He sent out his black book one time, and that shit is fucking amazing. Dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool dude. I've talked to
He's
him online a few
so
times.
good.
Yeah, SWS sick ass crew
Yeah,
in
yeah.
general.
Yep.
Yeah,
Really good.
yeah. Swag's tight. I like his style.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Lately, I've been collecting hoe scales.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I hate hoe scales.
really.
Fucking hate painting
Damn,
those
and I was
things.
totally gonna be like, "Hey, homie, hit one up."
I hate painting those things. And they like, no offense if you like them, sorry guys,
Yeah.
but like everybody always paints a fucking whole car on them. You never painted a whole car in your life. And you're doing
Oh
a
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
whole
No.
car on a hoe
I mean,
scale.
if you look at the hoe scales that I have, I mean, you kind of
I looked at them. They look. Those are.
they look like little panels.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to get like the 0.005 millimeter, like, you know.
Yeah.
Big plug for all these people. Jelly rollers. You remember jelly rollers? Yeah. You get a white jelly roller, and that's how you get those super thin highlights.
Oh, that's cool.
That's how you get those little stars and gleams, and you get those good details. Jelly rollers are life, man.
That's cool.
Do the whole fill in like with brush, because you can kind of blend brush for cool fill ins, and then you do like a 0.05 millimeter
Yeah.
for the outline, and then you go in with the jelly roller for the white highlights, and you
Yeah.
can get a tiny little panel on a hoe scale.
Yeah. Journey does them very well.
Yeah, I
Um,
can't imagine.
And I hope he doesn't get mad at me, but I'm gonna give one of his secrets away.
He does a lot of things
He
well.
uses Frisket.
Frisket?
Frisket. It's like a low tack, like I'm not an expert in what Frisket is, but it's essentially like it has an adhesive backing on it that's low tack, so you can pull it back.
Oh.
But you can like make stencils and shit out of it.
Oh, yeah. Kind of like a transfer paper.
Kind of.
Okay. Yeah.
And he'll do his sketch on the Frisket,
Cut it out.
cut it out, put it on the hoe scale train, and then spray paint,
Yeah.
and then outline with markers.
That's That's good right there.
And that's why they look really good and crisp.
Mm.
We'll do some little micro fade.
All right, Journey, I'm stealing that. Sorry.
It's too nerdy for me, dude. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I don't have the patience. That's also why I think I like gravitated towards graffiti so much. Is like I just don't have
Patience.
the patience.
One and done. Word, man. So last question. What would
Okay.
be your last meal?
My last meal. You would
You're
share
talking about barbecue and
you
shit.
would
like-
share the questions
Yeah.
with me ahead of this, conversation,
Yeah.
and that was the hardest one for me.
Yeah.
I love food so much that like
Yeah.
that would be such a hard thing.
It is a hard question.
it
for
is a
sure,
hard
dude.
question.
Especially in the Bay Area with so many different varieties.
Yeah. There's so much amazing food. There's shit that I love
Yeah.
here, and there's a lot of things that I would put on there. Like I think like most days it would have to depend what day it was and what I was feeling. I've got to
Okay.
be honest with you.
Okay.
Because that's
Okay.
how I am with food.
All
I
right.
don't have this like specific thing that I love. The one that I narrowed down for that specific thing that I love
You had
would
to
be
think about it.
would be a purely nostalgic meal.
It's funny that would be my answer too.
Is that there was this Italian restaurant in Olympia where I was from.
Okay.
That is, dude, this is not amazing food. It's called Casa Mia. Free shout out.
Okay.
And they made this Italian sub sandwich.
Okay.
And I used to go there with my grandparents, who like really stepped in and
Okay.
like saved me in a lot of ways as a kid.
Sure.
And it was like this real. It's tied to like this comfort and
Yeah.
this
I feel you.
memory.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the best thing I've ever eaten in my life, but I think that's probably
Doesn't
what it would
matter,
be.
right? Like you
Yeah.
take a bite of that and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
this is home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
That's a great memory.
Yeah. So I think that would probably be it. That was a tough question for me because there's a lot of restaurants and shit that I love, but
Yeah, sure.
that's what I would nail. I was also gonna go with like a home cooked meal for my mom or something, but
Yeah, that's tight.
that I was like,
Just thinking about this makes me hungry now.
my mom passed away, so she can't make it for me. So I was like,
Yeah.
that's not really a realistic answer, and I like
Yeah.
to keep it real.
Yeah. No, but I mean, yeah, I feel that, but
Yeah.
rest in peace, Mama Twigs, one of a guy.
Yeah. She did a little graffiti.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You ever get her to come out one time with you?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, we were in Vegas when I was like 17.
Vegas.
We had family there.
Okay.
And not to go too deep into it, but like her father that she wasn't super close with was there, and we went and hung out with him, and he took me to the water lilies exhibit,
Okay.
Monet,
Okay.
and he was like, "This is real art. That graffiti shit, you gotta get."
Oh,
on,"
he was talking shit.
He's talking shit. He was like,
Fire.
"It's never gonna amount to anything,"
Oh.
And then he passed away a few years ago, but on his deathbed, he was like,
I'm proud of you.
"No," he was like,
All right.
"You were right. I was wrong."
Oh, shit.
Because like it did turn into a job and all
Yeah,
this kind of
yeah,
shit.
yeah. Yeah.
So, anyways,
That's cool.
my mom and aunt and I got like fucking tanked
Did 17?
on the street. Oh, she didn't give a shit.
Oh, fire.
Yeah. And prior to us going out, we made a bunch of stickers, and she made all these stickers that said Twigs Mom, and it had it was drawn because my mom was an artist too.
Okay.
She did all these drawings of a woman's leg spread with a baby head coming out of the vagina.
The fuck? So she just slapping these all
She was
over
putting
fucking
these all
Vegas.
up on the strip.
Oh, that's so fire.
Yeah, and I remember like somebody being like, I was like putting up some stickers or something or doing a tag, and some lady being like, "Yo, what are you doing? Like, that's illegal or something." My mom's
Yeah.
like, we're all drunk. She's like, "Shut the fuck up, bitch." And I was like, God damn, Mom's doing a lot.
You got to bring that back.
What happened?
The fucking lights just fell. Creepy.
Oh, so I gotta repeat something?
Huh?
Do I have to repeat?
No.
something? Oh, I gotta bring it back. I gotta
We'll leave it
bring
on leave it on the podcast. The fucking lights are falling in the background and shit. Your mom's like, "Yo, what are you doing bringing up that leg
Yeah,
spread
she's-
open, baby?"
Yeah, she's like, "Don't tell my business." Good. She's haunting your house, not mine.
Yeah. That's weird.
Yeah, that's super weird.
Yeah, you got to make that a sticker.
Yeah.
Why not?
Eh,
That's a tight ass story, bro.
Yeah.
I'd love to have a fucking Mama Twigs with a Legs spread open and a baby coming out.
I don't think I have a photo of it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Word.
But yeah.
Word. That's a pretty cool story.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty good point to end on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, shit, man. Fucking awesome convo.
Yep.
I really appreciate you coming and hanging out with me and telling me a little bit about your story.
Yeah, of course. It's fun, man.
At the end, I always like to do the links. So, do you, other than TGE isms?
That's it.
All right. No other website, nothing like that.
No websites for me.
Is it with a S, isms, or ism? Just
forget.
TGE ism.
I think it's with a Z? No, it's an S. Yeah. TGE ISM Instagram.
All right. Yeah. Catch him on TGE ism.
Yeah.
The boy out here getting it.
Cash at me, Venmo me.
Yep. You know what I'm saying? Hire him for some host scales.
Yeah, hire me for host scales.
Commission
I would love
him
to do one.
Commission some host scales. And, he's going to go ahead and fucking stencil them out like Journey.
I'll pay Journey to make them.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm not making them.
Just cash them out, just commission.
I hate those things.
Yeah, word.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have you do at least a throwy on one.
Yeah, there you go. There you
go. Yeah, if you're coming off of a search and you don't follow already, I'm Bay Area Graffiti, Bay_area_graffiti, or you can check my personal graffiti, which is what's your name. Name is spelled Naym, which is just Myan backwards. Some people don't get that.
Yeah.
I always thought I should piece that one day, just Naym. Might change the flow of my letters a little bit. But,
yeah.
But yeah, other than that, this episode is sponsored by Left Coast Signs.
Yeah.
If you want to sign in a sign painted sign or whatever you might need for your man cave or business, holler at your boy. I do sign painting and I'm poor.
Yeah.
And I need to pay rent.
Sick,
man. Well, fucking once again, thank you so much for coming on the episode. Yeah. Shout out to everyone that's listening still. I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.
Sick. Later.
What is this rush thing? What is the rush that you get from it?
The ultimate rush. Nothing can beat it. No drugs, no nothing.
Are you the kind of person who goes up on those signs on the freeway?
Yeah, more than anyone.